Oh, we're starting to creep up the Lydian Sulian length. We're on session 11 of Atelier Sophie 2. Good num morning, welcome back. I know it was a bit of a backward way of doing it, but we're back. Today's main objective is getting that Groll warding stone, which to do so is get a rust-proof heart and hunt 10 large Groll. Both of which are pretty manageable to do, because if I go to recipe ideas, rust-proof heart, we've seen them before, so we can go get another one. And the large Groll, Thunderbolt Palace, and Server's Heart, we'll just fight a dozen of them on the way up. If we go to Server's Heart and just work our way through, we'll get there. Which is what I'm going to do. We'll get both. Oh, there's a monster I never fought. Interesting. I wonder if it's the birds. If you can tell by my voice, I am slightly more tired today, so it's going to be a bit slightly cozier as we go, but we'll just take it as it is. Oh, music's changed. Is it because we're later in the game? We took down the Zwei, so it's like, you know, you've got that step up. Oh, it's a nice beat too. Might be all doing well as always. To make our beginning, we need to be helping Plachta, because Plachta's working on that recipe. But for the recipe, we need to take down these enemies. Well, not these ones particularly, but you get a, what was it, rust-proof heart or whatever. But it's also a good chance to get some more money in everyone again, because although we've got a lot of money, we're going to burn through it a lot quicker because of the equipment we have. I mean, it's okay for now, but it's not going to be forever. I'm not 100% sure where the rust-proof heart, or whatever it was called, is, so I'm just going to kind of be checking all the ores as we go, because I think that's what it is. I think it is something you need to pickaxe. Mostly just because the objective says increase staff or pickaxe gather to 3. Oh, there's one there, actually. Got it. Alright, never mind. That was easy. So let's just hunt down some of these critters. It'd probably be quicker, actually, to do this. I mean, we'll fight these guys because they're here, but I am curious what that one enemy I'm missing is. God, yeah, I like this new track. Alright, let's find these Groll. I was trying to see if I could poke through, but I just barely couldn't see enough. Problem is, I don't know precisely where they'll be. So I've got to kind of like just fumble around and figure it out myself a bit. And it's also probably a better thing that I'm slightly tired, so slightly quieter today, just because my throat was starting to get a little fighting yesterday. If you've seen yesterday's stream, by the end of it you probably heard my throat started to get a little bit more challenging. Is it this? Is this the thing I didn't fight? So I just went, oh god, not another dragon, so I went around it. Screw it, let's find it. Oh, Dragon Aura, okay. They get super weak to physical. The Dragon Aura is like the weird one, because it just feels like, it says, oh yeah, new status effects will work effective, but it feels like kind of everything will do the trick. to different extents. We'll use this. I haven't used it in a while. Yeah, this guy might not. I don't know how much health this thing has. I didn't check, but it's gonna be hurting. At least I hope it is. Okay, so it's about halfway. That's not bad. We can do that. Especially when doing that kind of damage. Oh, it's nearly dead. It might be dead. It's dead. As soon as I saw the glacial come down, I was like, ooh, actually. God, we got a Dragon Bloodstone in there, didn't we? Yeah, we did. I was like, that looked like a Bloodstone. It was. We're back on, we're not back on, but we're close to getting, Philosopher's Stones again. Oh, so you can only go one. Oh, that's interesting. You can only go one way. Alright, let's go to the Thunderbolt Palace. I know these guys are here. Oh, there's an enemy in the sun I didn't encounter. Was it these bats? Perchance? At least we get to listen to this, the sick music of the dungeon theme when we get out of here again. I'm gonna try and hold off on using items a little bit just because, you know, Perka's like rubbing her mitts together every time. Every time we go into battle, she's like, yes, more money. And I'm not about to turn it off because we'll start losing items I spent way too much time working on. Because that was the thing, even like in like Sophie 1, it could reach a point where even if you had loads of things, there was still a good chance that it would start costing you. Like when you got the quote-unquote free mode, it was more like the discount was so severe that you had to use a hell of a lot before it started charging you, but it didn't mean you were safe. Alright. I kind of need more Groll. If I'm honestly honest, I kind of need more than just one at a time. I was going to be here for a bit. You understand, game. you can throw me a bone. We're going to get this objective done too sweet, so we kind of need the game to help us out a little bit and be like more than one. Ah, sure, I know it's resistant to physical, but I get rid of that aura quicker. Or not. Morning, one man. Hope you're doing well. What have you found out? Ugh. Yeah. Ooh. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, why did you find that out? Right, so I found that info out. Yeah, that fucking sucks. Ugh. It's horrible. Oh, that's a yeah, that's a big yikes. Jesus Christ. What the f- oh, that's horrible. The curse of the internet, I suppose. Oh, another physical thing, the jig. Plachi, get in here. We're gonna bomb these bitches. Speed, circle of path, have ultimate media. Apparently, it's some study that was found. Yeah, it absolutely is. Ugh. Yeah, that's rough. Ugh. And I wish it could be just as easy. It's like, alright, then name and shame them, we'll get rid of them. But it's like, those sort of people are the sort of people that you know would disappear like the very second it's even like a whiff of something going like against them. Like, they won't get caught. Actually, I need to have someone who can actually do some kind of magic. It is my feed today. Yeah, exactly. That's, happy. Try and think happy thoughts. Try and think happy thoughts. Don't think about it. Overflowing passion. New skill. What's that do? You have to forgive like my voice a little bit. I didn't damage it yesterday. This is genuinely just because I'm tired. I didn't sleep that well last night. It wasn't even insomnia for once. I just got way too cold in my sleep and it was enough to wake me up. Increase the number of normal attacks used next by 1 when moving to the front. Ooh, okay. Boss. Well, because I'm playing Yakuza 0. Oh. Yeah, how was the trophy grind on that? It was funny though, actually, speaking of trophy grinds, because I get morbidly curious at these things, since we're now all like, you know, like on the friends list and whatnot, I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll compare trophies. Some games, PlayStation can recognize that it's the same game even though you played the Japanese version. Some other games, it really can't. So when it came up saying like, oh, this person has a platinum in Death End Request 2, you've never played it. I was like, what? I've got 200 hours in Dirk 2. What the fuck are you on? Oh wait, it's the Japanese version you was playing. I was like, what? I definitely have the platinum for that game. And I've got 200 hours in it. The fuck are you talking about? Oh, right, your Japanese version. But it was interesting as well, because on PS5, it gives you the actual total playtime of all the games you've played as well. So it also like kind of outed you a little bit on what games you spent a lot of time on and what games you kind of rushed through a little bit. Yeah, I noticed that Dirk 1 was on there 3 times. But the crazy thing is that Dirk 1, it registered that it was the same game because it came up with my trophy list alongside it on comparison all 3 times. You just had it listed 3 times, but for me it also listed it next to it 3 times. Yet Dirk 2, it saw the JP version as a different game entirely, and I was like, huh. But it was like good example was like Dragon Star Varnir to about the playtime. I had like triple the playtime you had in it. We both had the platinum, but it's like you could tell I absolutely loved it, so like went for it several times. Whilst you just like maybe you enjoyed it, maybe you didn't, but you did what you needed to, and then you moved on. Yeah, it is weird. It is, I don't know. I don't know if it's like maybe it's like a publisher thing. Because I know, like, I know it's not every game, but I know of Compile Hearts, some of their games, they run by a different publisher for the European version, or they run by a different publisher for the US version. So maybe it was something to do with that just confuddled things. It was also kind of funny, because I looked at my, I was talking about that, looking at my playtime, and it's like, Sophie 1, I think it was something like just under 30 hours total playtime. Theoris was like 28, like slightly less. And then you get the Lydian Suli, and it was like 68 hours. I was like, ooh. I was like, ooh, okay, that game got away from me. It's strained my patience, especially at the beginning. Yeah, it's fair. Because I loved it, but my biggest gripe wasn't the game's fault. It was that I felt like it was extremely apparent that the game was either under budgeted or extremely time constrained, and I'm more likely to bet it was the former because it was a completely different IP, a big like different take on the franchise, on like you know Compile Heart and sort of style of games. It was just being a very different thing, and maybe Compile Heart didn't have that much faith in it or not enough faith in it, and so just didn't budget it as much. I'd still love a sequel, especially because if they're smart about it, and I've been saying this since I finished the game the first time when it first came out, if they're smart about it, they won't call it Dragon Star Varnir 2. They'll call it Dragon Star Bendika because she became the new Dragon Star in the true ending. It'd be a huge spoiler to the first game, but it would be a clever title. And what's more important here? It's apparently a collaboration of several artists of Compile Heart. Yeah, and the heavily beloved lead artist of Data Live, I think it was, did some of the character designs. Not all of them. Like, it was a bit of like a collaboration project, as you said. But it's like, you can tell because Charlotta, her design, it does feel very fantastical, but not at the same time not too different from like a Data Live character. Like, you can kind of see it's the same artist a little bit. Oh, I never know what to do with you, Ramazor. When an enemy's resistant to physical, you just kind of exist. I'm sorry, sweetheart. Get out of here. Obviously, considering how I'm going about it. Because yeah, because I say spoilers for a 2019 game. Vanir dies, and in the true ending dies and is replaced by Bendika to restore the life of witches, to store the lifeblood and everything else, and keep everything going. So if you call the next one Vanir 2, Vanir's not a part of it anymore. Unless it was like Vanir's Legacy. Or something like that. But if you call it Bendika, it's like, like, that's clever. Like, you sit and you go, okay, I get it. And the thing is, like, I spoke about it during my Let's Play many moons ago, but if there was a new Dragonstar game, narrative-wise, because, you know, Compile Heart always like to have their second game star a different character. Did all the endings. Yeah, well, yeah, you platinumed it, so you had to. It's like, I'm more saying it, like, for people who hop in when I'm saying for spoilers for a 2019 game. I'm saying it more for people who haven't played it, who don't know what we're talking about. Like, for a second game, since they always like to have it be someone else, instead of it being Zephy, have it be those 3 kids. Like, pick one of those 3 kids to be one of the main character. I don't know which one I'd pick, but well, I mean, don't just make them 3 kids, obviously. Time jump it a little bit, so they're teenagers and a little bit more grown up, but their characters are still there. But have them be the new main characters, so it can be like a story of like them like discovering themselves in a world after all that chaos. You know, like a world where several years have passed to see how things have healed, but also how other areas have become damaged because of how the knowledge and belief of witches has changed and shit like that. I think that would be a cool way to do it. And then you could have members of the first game's cast be more guiding in that sense. Legs for more than one game? No. And the thing is, they didn't even do everything they set up with him, because they, once again, I don't know if it was like a lack of budget or lack of time, they kind of just swept the whole, like, Buddy who was in the army storyline under the rug and just kind of wrapped it up kind of quietly in a post-game dungeon. And I was like, no, there was so much more they needed to do there, but no, they just kind of like tie it up in a neat little bow without actually showing you what was in the prize, and put it in the post-game dungeon. Go, that's fine. The real question, though, is, and I know we're making a point to fight for this, that if they do a Bendika, when we actually do get to catch up with the first game's cast, for the love of God, actually have Zephy commit to someone. Make it that he's actually with and or married to someone. Don't just do the whole, he's the main character, and because you can pick, we just made him that he's just friends with everyone now. Because that's just so deflating. It's just like, it always annoys me when Persona, like, successor spin-offs do that. It's like the whole game sets up one kind of particular love interest more than the rest. You get to the follow-up game and Yu Narukami's just good friends with everyone. You're like, fuck off. It's like, no, just pick someone for God's sake. Oh, level 50's the cap. Okay, got it. Except the Holy Sword is the worst Compile Heart, and yeah, it's just miserable. They just all die, it goes to shit, and no one's happy, and Charlotte's like, well, fuck. The world's over. Congratulations. Ruined Zephy for me. Yeah, but that's just one ending. And the thing is, the whole point of the Madness ending was that it's supposed to be maddening, pardon the pun. It's supposed to be horrendous and make you feel like shit because it's supposed to be you as the player failed, or that's the the mentality they try and give with it. There's no point. Yeah, because it's just the madness ending is literally designed not to be an ending, to just be a punishment for the player. It's a punishment for not doing enough, for not paying attention, to not like doing what you should be doing. You know, that's all it is. It's punishment for failure. So it's not gonna feel satisfying, it's not gonna feel like helpful or rewarding or anything. It's just fuck you, the ending. Initiator. And to be fair, even the normal ending kind of raises an eyebrow at you a little bit, like, you could have done more than this, you know you could have. And it failed that design? Well, if you reach the end of it and it makes you miserable and you hate it, then it's worked. Because I did Madness ending last. Well, that's not the game's fault. That's not the game's fault which ending you went for. I did Madness last because I loved the characters too much and really didn't want to see what happens when shit goes wrong. I wanted to remain oblivious. But when I, because I did 2 full playthroughs of Dragonstar Vanir for my Let's Play. I did the true ending first, and then I did another playthrough when I upgraded the PS5, where I did the Madness run-through. And if you ever get the opportunity to watch that for whatever reason, it's a number of years old now, both playthroughs. But, the difference between how I am in the true ending compared to how I am in the Madness ending, I don't think there's a single video online of me that has me more miserable than the Madness ending video in the Let's Play. Like, you can hear it in my voice. I'm so fucking miserable because of how deeply I get attached to fictional characters, how deeply I get attached to video game characters. I was so attached to them, and I was going into a scenario where I knew they were all gonna die. Kinda is, because it'll be far longer to get the Madness ending than the others. You say that, but for an average player, all you have to do is fuck up looking after the kids. A lot of people, like, if you're going for the trophy, you probably grind out Madness by, like, deliberately dying, or deliberately picking all the options, or all that stuff, which does take forever. But you gotta remember, each kid dying adds 25% to your Madness. And you only need 75% to get the worst ending. So if like all 3 kids die, that's fucking it. So if you're not good with time limits, or don't pay attention to it, or out for too long, so basically if you're not a good parent, you fucking enjoy your Madness ending. So in that sense, it does work. Yeah, no, I rarely died, which is a shame, because Dragonstar Vanir has one of the coolest mechanics and systems I have ever seen in a JRPG, and no one ever sees it because the game's not that hard. And that is, when you die, the game breaks down everything that was wrong in your style. It will tell you if what went wrong was just a level difference, what went wrong was a strategical difference, what went wrong was an equipment difference. It will tell you if there's certain skills that you just straight up don't have that it would help you out with. Like, it actually breaks down what resulted in your failure. And then afterwards, it says, if you were to try this fight again in your exact same condition, here is your percentage chance of you actually winning. And I was like, that's actually kind of fucking cool. For people who aren't that much into these kind of strategy things but want to figure it out, having the game break everything down and be like, this is where you went wrong, here are your odds right now, this is what needs to change to boost it. I was like, that's really fucking cool. I actually really respect that. But you know, but the thing is, like, because the game's not that hard, no one ever sees it, and so you miss it. And it's like, that's genuinely such a sick mechanic. I love that was there to help, like, break people in and give you more time to figure things out and whatnot. But no, it's no one saw it because the game's not that hard even on hard mode. Because my Madness playthrough, I did play on hard mode, and I still did alright. Where do I have a fun game of immaculate ending mechanics? Uh-oh. Is it Trails of Cold Steel again? Anyway, we got increases user's crit rate when at max HP. Which is almost never going to happen, I just realised. With Elias, because I have him on the back row, so I either... I mean, I say that, if I swap him in for a combat, it'll be fine. Record of Agagus War. Fair enough. If I swap him like this, then it's fine. But if I usually have him in to be the defensive unit, so it ends up not being... He's got to enter the fight. Complete steps you must go to get a true ending is maddening. I think that's the only thing. Because there are some things I genuinely miss from, like, the older era of, like, Compile Heart or Idea Factory or GJRPG. But there's also a lot of things that I don't miss. And how ridiculously bullshit convoluted some of the endings were in their older games, I don't miss that at all. Like, just straight up, I don't miss that at all. That can fucking stay. So I remember when I was going through the Netsunia games, I was genuinely grateful that Victory only had 3 endings. The moment I found out they got rid of it having like 12 endings, I was like, oh great, now they actually are gonna have worth again. Because it does feel like most of the endings in Mark II are worthless. Because they just a weird little thing. You see one tiny scene and the game goes, okay, that was a thing, bye. And you're like, well, that's not satisfying at all. Because I even criticized when I did a review of it that the true ending was so lackluster I didn't even think I had the true ending until the trophy popped. Because the game has too many endings, and so how much attention each one gets felt dwindling. The victory ending sucks. The true ending's fine. The day is saved and everyone goes back to normal kind of thing. It's just the bad ending and the normal ending that are just kind of like, oh, okay. There, it is done. This recipe, is it a tool for repelling Groll? Yes. Reasoning from the Groll's attraction to dreams, it could be inferred they have some way of sensing them. Therefore, creating a magic stone that blocks all signs of a dream's presence should serve to repel the Groll. That's amazing, Plachta. You can do that? It was nothing, really. I was only able to come up with it because of your reverie powder you made, Sophie. As well as the research that my future self gathered on the Groll's biology. But it was you who took those things and turned them into a recipe. This recipe is without a doubt a product of your own power. Isn't the number of endings, but the share requirements needed to get them. Yeah, there's a lot of like... The thing is, it's not just share requirements that you need. It's you have to max out friendship with certain characters or avoid maxing out others to see some of these other different endings. Yeah, like there's like that was where it started to get annoying for me. So it's like, okay, so not only do I need to like get even out the shares, but I also need to go out of my way to get some chips that will boost the Lily rank quicker. And then grind the ever-living shit out of whatever enemy I feel like. I feel like if you get the strongest chip, it goes up a rank every 10 fights. But that's still a lot of annoying grind just to get your rank up for every character in a game that has got way too many characters. Because that was the other gripe I had with the earlier games. And it's another thing I actually was thankful for with Victory. I felt there was too many cooks in the first, and more so the second game than the first. The first, like, there was too many cooks for sure, but at least they tried to make it so every single character had some meaning to the plot, even if it was very minor. In Mark II/Rebirth 2, I noticed it more in Rebirth 2, some characters join the party, and that's the last of any significance they have to the story. Like, it's like, that's the end. That's all you see of them again. It's like, that's the last time they actually contribute and mean anything other than saying one odd line of dialogue to remind you they still exist. Whilst in Victory, they knuckled that down quite well, and so it wasn't so bad. And in V2, despite the fact there was a lot of characters, what did V2 do? Split them up at a lot of opportunities, so they could all still be individuals. V2 like flourished on how often it split up the party. You don't get everyone together in one gargantuan party until like the third act. You know, like, so it did it wisely. It knew there was a lot of characters, so instead of putting all of them together immediately and it started being like a fight for attention, too many characters eating screen time. Yeah, to an extent I get that. I think for that one it's more Victory's problems was I think was more on the villain side than the hero side. I know like you don't like Iris Heart and whatnot, and I see your point of everything, but I liked Plachta. Not Plachta, fucking Plutius. Jesus Christ. I liked Plutia, but a lot of the heroes I thought were fine. It was the fact that all the villains, only like 2 or 3 of them were like interesting and dynamic. Everyone else was either, oh, it's fucking R4 again, or just people you forgot about as soon as you were done with them. But they weren't that meaningful. Yeah, I like Plasha too. Both their names start with P. I just got a little confuddled. They both got a sort of like Plutia, Plachta. They both got a sort of like PA-esque thing to it. But in V2, I genuinely think like V2 nailed how to handle its characters. Like none of the characters annoyed me at all in V2, other than R4. But even then, by the time they got the V2, they were in on the joke in a way that actually was helpful. It wasn't like annoying, because I felt like even in Victory when R4 showed up again, I was like, oh, this bitch. But in V2, like, it felt like it's like, yeah, we know, even as like a reoccurring joke, we get it. It's still kind of annoying, so they do it a bit, but then they kind of do away with it and kind of like, yeah, alright. So even though R4's annoying, she's not in it anywhere near as much. And they even make it a plot point that there's like got that whole clone bullshit going on. Much of her writing, yeah. Because I said, I genuinely like Plutes. I think Plutes is, whether liked or disliked, the most interesting character to read into in Victory. R4 and DOS are DT is Sin returning in SVS. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me because they never fucking aren't. And I think like when it's Deity of Sin specifically, it's more annoying because it's like the more often the Deity of Sin shows up, the less significant Netgear's character growth in Mark II is. At least I think. If it's like the more often that thing shows up, the more Netgear's growth means nothing. Oh, one note. Yeah, or they're an arsehole. Or they're the victim of said arsehole, Neptune and Netgear. Genuinely, that was my actual biggest gripe. It wasn't Ariarhod Heart, it wasn't any of that stuff, it was Neptune. I genuinely did not like Neptune in Victory. I thought she was really bratty and really annoying. And so the fact that you reach the end of the game and she's not challenged on it once, really, I was just like, nah, I'm not good with this. Especially because I actually liked Netgear. I actually liked Netgear. I didn't like the fact that she was the butt of every joke. Mr. Bad and Anadeth. Mr. Bad, I liked the story. You know, the monsters they'd been fighting and some of the things he'd been killing were like failed experiments. Basically, when you killed humans, I was like, oh shit, that's actually kind of grim. But they didn't go all the way with it I wanted them to. And Anadeth, I was neither here nor there with him until I watched the anime, and then I thought he was the funniest son of a bitch I'd ever met, I'd ever seen in the Nep canon. I thought in the anime he was funny as fuck. I was like, okay. Don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed Anadeth a bit in Victory, but it was very much like in the middle of the road. Like, there was some things I liked about him, but there was some things I was like, eh, alright. But in the anime, I was just like, this bitch. The inverse of Stockholm Syndrome. In what sense? I haven't played Victory or Rebirth 3 in a while. I'm trying to think what you mean. Anyway, well, I don't know. But it does feel different from before. As though something new has begun to sprout within me. If this really is my own power, maybe I'm getting closer to grasping something. Something I'm not yet aware of. Aw, it's okay, Pluchy, you're doing fine. You're just growing up. Vital components or the deadliest poison. Simply adding this to a cauldron vastly improves their quality. We'll have to take care not to touch it with our bare hands. Yeah, that looks like hell. Instead of the victim attaching themselves to the view of the abuser instead attached himself to his victims. It's a piece of psychology rarely explored. Oh, alright. So is it? I'm trying to remember the details. It's been a while, and so I was like, what? Oh, right. Oh, we can make a better bug net? When was that? And we can make a... Hang on. Before we actually protect the people, let's help ourselves. Hang on a minute. I didn't realize we could make that. Let's remove that and remove that. Every single time without fail this track comes on, I just got start humming along to it. Aha! I was about to say, I need something that's red and green. There we go. Treating the monsters as his daughters, eventually begged Noir in the station to find a way to restore his daughters from being human again. It's a devil has a heart moment. Yeah. So I do remember, like, enjoying Mr. Bad. I think for me it was more that I just wanted them to go further. I'm trying to remember what I said in my review many moons ago. Because one of the things I liked about Mark II was the fact that it had a slightly darker spine to it, but I didn't like the fact that past, like, Chapter 4, a lot of that dark spine kind of vanishes. I like the fact that when you first met Uni, she's not just full tsundere, she's genuinely scared. And so she's really, like, dismissive and pushes you away because she's terrified. Because, you know, like, the one person she relies on isn't there. Or, you know, the fact that at the start of the game, Nepgear has, like, zero motivation to do anything because she feels like it's a pointless battle. I loved, like, that, like, slightly darker tone. So when it moved away from me, I was like, ugh. So when it came to the later games, I wanted to see some of that come back. And the fact that it only kind of does in V2, and I say kind of, it actually goes kind of strong in V2, but it's not until, like, the last act when it's the whole thing with Uzume only being able to admit that she doesn't want to live anymore by speaking in the third person. I was like, that's actually kind of holy shit. That was like, whoa, okay. I need to try and make more. I want to get that Gathering M up. Actually, I have an idea. It's going to be ballsy, but I have an idea. I have an idea. Go all out with the Thunder ones until we get the ability to add an extra material. Eh? That's because old school Neptune had this magical concept called stakes, yeah. We spoke about it before. It's like, that's the problem with the fact that they're only doing spin-offs, is that there's... I mean, they can still do stakes, I suppose. It's just that they can't commit to anything because it's a spin-off. Or at least they could, but they don't want to. So I am going to figure this out. I have it in my head how I'm going to do this. It's just doing it. It's just how you write it. Yeah. It's just, I think for a lot of it, especially when it's the ones that aren't made by, you know, like Idea Factory and whatnot, a lot of those teams probably don't feel like it's their place to suddenly start, like, changing the canon or doing things crazy, so they try and keep it kind of basic. Problem is they keep it too basic, and it ends up being problematic. Stay with me here, I've got an idea. Right, there's a cross there, dang it. It's okay, I can do that instead. There we are. There's the trick I needed. I'll work on the other ones first, and then because that's maxed out, so. Oh, whoops. I'll just put this here. It's not going to begin with, and try to change away to your. But yeah, but the thing is that I don't know. I think a lot of that, especially for these kind of devs, it's the matter of, especially if it's not something you own and it's like you're working for someone else. If you suddenly just hop in and be like, "Oh, we've done this, this, and that," they might go, "What the fuck? Why have you done that to this character? That's not your character to do that with," you know. And then Idea Factory or Combo Heart be completely in their right to say, "Don't fucking do that shit." So it's just a rocky road not worth tackling, not worth standing, like not worth like fucking with. I'm not sure how I'm gonna get this to work. Let me back this up. Listen, track. If you're licensing your IP to someone, then the story you're writing is able to be used as you please. Yeah, but if you do that and it's not going to suit for the company with it, they're never going to want to work with you again, regardless of what you can do or can't do. If they have a set mind and have a set ideology of what they want to do and what they plan to do, and you do something that throws a wrench in it, they're never going to fucking work with you again. Doesn't matter what legislation, what rules, what any of that is. They won't care. You're not involved ever again. That's just the nature of the beast. So you do something safe. You do something that won't affect canon. Well, even not canon. Won't affect the opinion. Won't affect the style. Won't affect any of that stuff. You just do what you're told and get paid. Well, you won't get that. Don't get paid. That's an exaggeration. You know what I mean, though. They will throw you out the water. They won't be interested in working with you again. It's just the nature of how these things are. It's very much seen as you're invited to join in, not you are the spokesperson of the future of a franchise. Don't not soulless crap because you put all the creativity into the gameplay loop. Or at least that's what you should be doing. You put the creativity into all the gameplay features and mechanics. Unfortunately, it's just the devs that seem to be getting these things more often than not don't do that. Red instead. I just think that makes more sense. No, because we can use capable shooting. Do we have... something that's red and green? One thing? Fucking Christ. That is not what I wanted. I think that your time sort of just make your own if it's about the gameplay loop. But yeah, because then it becomes a marketing thing. If you get to work on a game that has a brand recognition that will guarantee some sales and guarantee some money in your pocket, you're going to do that. You know? Whilst you're just making your own property, that's a far, far bigger gamble that could blow up in your face. Whilst NEP, even though it's not as successful as it used to be, has that notoriety, has that people know who Nep is. You know, people know what Neptune is. Nice, that's what I was after. I was like, I think I might be able to get an extra fuel out of this and then fix my fucking problem. There we go. It's well beyond what Nep is at this point. Yeah, and that's where we can agree on. What Neptune as a franchise should be, and unfortunately what it is nowadays are very different things. Which is a shame, but it is just, the franchise has just churned out nothing special for so long that it's kind of lost much of its identity now. It's just a thing that is around that make Compo Heart money. Ah, that's what I was trying to avoid. Like, his DNA doesn't exist anymore. No, is it not faithful to mechanics of the canon, which by the way casts doubt on canon, but it's an ill-faith representation. Yeah. Alright, no, alright, no, don't get too carried away there, Plutchter. I was just checking one thing. Alright, so that's the absolute maximum we can take from it. Got it. And I can't take into that either. Oh, this green. I need to just get rid of this green. Oh, I got it. We can still make a link. There, so we can get out to Master Shooting. As a Ninja Wars. I've mutilated the main cast at this point. Yeah, I haven't heard like anything good about Virtual Stars. I appreciate what they were going for, but yeah, no. Like I said before, Ninja Wars, I genuinely didn't mind it on a gameplay front. I like being able to bounce things off and do different things with the cast and whatnot. My problem was that I had negative interest in the story. Like it was so unnecessary and meaningless in every sense of the word that I just switched off. Alright, before we get carried away with making nets, I need to make a better net to use as a basis, because what the heck? Better than Ninja Wars, I legit like Virtual Stars. Really? Because I've never played it, and so I've never heard anything good either. And so I just like, you know what, I'll pass. But then I'm also the person who didn't like Super NEP RPG, and I know a lot of people who did. So maybe I'm the weirdo. It's with some of these things. I'll just overwrite this one, so I'll just put that there. I absolutely love Super NEP RPG. Well, then there, exactly. In fact, I never finished Super NEP, but that's because I didn't enjoy it enough to want to. But that doesn't mean, like, I got enough of an opinion to know it wasn't for me, sort of thing. It wasn't that I just abandoned it and it's like, I didn't have, like, it's like no opinion whatsoever. It was just, I was like, Maybe at another time, in another life, I'll give it another shot. How would be best to handle this? I'm trying to get the most out of these blues so we can stretch that bottom out more. I guess that, because it gets more links. And fresh mesh, yep, that's another resource, that's the main reason. Assuming that was like one of my top net games. Far better than 4GO and other Tamsoft games and or Victory. Oh, fair enough. I'm glad that in this current age of what's happening with the NEP franchise, you managed to find one that really clicks with you. I am, seriously. How much can I influence this and still get away with the yellow being max? Okay, so we can't do that. I don't really want to. I'll just leave it like that then. I'm not really sure anything I can do with that would work. I'll do. Listen, I found ways to break 4GO and net victory. That's fair. A drawback with virtual stars is that you can feasibly trivialize the entire playthrough. If you know where to get to leveling items, you can reach level 99 well before you even reach the final boss. Because maybe one day I'll try it. I think, like, it wasn't that I was in burnout. It was more so that I was, like, definitely already in the free fall with NEP by that point. I was very much like a, oh fucking hell, here we go again kind of mentality with it. I gave Ninja Wars more of a chance because it was a crossover game and I was curious to see how they would handle it. Like I said, even though I have no care for the story, I did like the gameplay enough. I just wish I liked the rest of it more. Sure, I'll take that for now. Because it was a much worse property. Not like it was like part of a Mega Miracle Force or Chaos Chopperoo. As much as I get that, in terms of like business relations, people had been wanting those two to hop together for ages. Because those two were basically business associates for ages. Like there's in like them Compile Heart and they're coming to make the Seiron Kagura games. Like they were aware of each other and like doing little things for each other here and there for forever. And so it seemed like only a matter of time they were going to cross over. If anything, I'm surprised it took them as long as it did. Oh, what am I doing with this piece? We're clearly not getting much out of the blue in this one, so I think I'm just gonna accept my losses and take it over the edge of it a little bit. Sorry, but the timing couldn't have been worse. Yeah, I think if like NEP was in a be honest, in a better position, and then that happened, I think it would have been easier for people to just be like, oh yeah, this is cool, let's give it a go. And obviously, if it was actually, you know, had good writing, the biggest fucking crux, if it actually, you know, had good writing, we would have been fine. But as it stands, I was trying to see if I could be clever about it. Never mind. Well, Senran was basically dead amongst its fan bases when it happened. Oh yeah, something about actually well, so I think my point stands with, like, if Net was in a better condition, it would have helped. But yeah, I don't know enough about Senran to comment on that because I've never played the games. I want to. It's on the bucket list. It's gonna be something I'll try and do next year. I want to go through some of the Senran games, just to actually try them out and see what they're like. But I haven't played them to have an opinion on that. I don't know what's going on with them, whether that franchise is still breathing or if it's like just existing or what. I can't sacrifice them. I don't think I can sacrifice this green, can I? No, I can't. Ah, fuck it. Let's do that and get an extra brownie point. Actually, no, because that affects the trait. Ah, oh, god damn it! I need like I need to somehow get like 8 by 8. Nice. I can take that though. What room? What room? The game's like, hey, do you want to add something else? What room? Where? Make it a tiny blue. That's all I can do. Make it a tiny blue to get the trait gatherer boost up. So at least then I can put this here, this here, and that there to get... Fucking Christ. Nice. Now what do I do with this shit? Hang on. Does this affect that? That does though. Shit. Hang on, hang on. Back it up, Platchter. Bitch. No. New Revive, however, I do get around the Neptunia fanbase, and strangely enough, the fanbase between the two are almost exactly the same. So realistically, they're not really doing each other much favor business-wise, even at their heyday. Because part of the reason I remember why they wanted it was because of their links, because of their connections as companies. Especially because, like, when both NEP and there was a point in time where both NEP and Senran Kagura around the same time were getting like severely accused of just being like the sexist propaganda games. There's like, oh, this is just the fan servicey games just for the male eyes and nothing more, and it's like there's so much more to that than you guys and then people realize. But no, they didn't want to see it that way because of course they didn't. So it's almost like a kind of bound by blood, people who liked those games, that they did kind of stick with each other and help each other out and all that stuff. But that was... I was still a kid when that was a thing. And if I 9 out of 10, they're usually a Senran fan. Yeah, I think that's what I meant by, like, it's sort of bound by blood to an extent. Well, I don't know. At one point I want to try Senran, because I'll probably have fun with it. From what I've seen of it, so I've seen a bit of Burst Renewal, I've seen a bit of Estival Versus. They look fun. I don't care for that Beach Ball spin-off. At least I think it was a Beach Ball spin-off, or whatever it was, the Beach Party, whatever it's called. But then, like, why would I? If I was going to care about that, I would have got, like, fucking Dead or Alive Volleyball Party, and I didn't, so... Oh, the plot is literally just have Plush to make the thing. Oh, it matters? Oh, God. I was like, it's just a plot item. Why do you mean it matters? Sync quality. Matsu. Those usually are more profitable when they're not related fandoms. Reference games like MVC. Yeah. Yeah, I get that in that sense. But it's also it's an awkward thing to strike the balance of, because the fact that they had similar fans also means it's the perfect niche audience game if they nailed it. Because it's like, this is the deliverance of people who are fans of both. Here you go. Here's it finally coming together. You know, that's what I mean. But that's not really how it happened. The game just kind of had like a lesser version. So even though I don't play Senran Kagura, even I could fucking tell, like, this isn't how the characters are probably ever written. This is like a much lesser version of who they are. That's like been dumbed down for the sake of a crossover. And so it ended up just feeling kind of less in a lot of ways, instead of it being this big, cool celebration thing it should have been. And Sophie 2 and Blue Affection Second Light. Yeah, I mean, yeah. In fact, they also did crossover, because, you know, they had the crossover DLC, which I'm still not upset. That's over dramatic, but grumbly about how much of the shit end of the stick Blue Reflection got. The Blue Reflection crossover dungeon in this game is kinda pathetic compared to what Blue Reflection did in return. Yeah, like, I genuinely can't stress that enough. Like, it really feels like one side made loads of effort, the other just kind of went, that'll do. Had the first Death End game? What? Really? I didn't know that. That's kind of sick. Might have to actually check it out at some point. Which, to be fair, just proved the worth of crossovers, because Death End's in it. I was just like, man, I might have to check that out at some point, and that's all it took. That's all it took. You know, that's the beauty of a crossover done right. It makes you go, what? Oh, it really doesn't matter, I'll just do that. Surge, Everlasting Crimson, and Poison. Crossover with different IPs. Yeah, that's really sick. Even obscure ones like Tokyo Clan Port. Yeah, that one's beyond me. I don't know. That's real obscure. A Monster Mon piece. Yeah, you've lost. You're losing me. According to the Cliff Notes versions, also, I did spot that comment. I just was trying to figure that out as well. The Cliff Notes version of the characters, yeah. Because what I mean, like with the crossover between Atelier and Blue Reflection Second Light. In Blue Reflection Second Light, you get a dungeon that crosses over with Riser 2, where you go through 3 environments. All of the music is from Riser 2. All of the enemies you fight are from Riser 2. You go for a mini story, which the Blue Reflection cast comment on and can compare to their own story, so it feels actually integrated into the plot. And you get a bunch of very unique items in it, referencing the Atelier series. You come to this game, you just get 2 scenic drops that just look like that dungeon, that doesn't have any unique materials, doesn't have any unique enemies, doesn't play any music, doesn't have any unique story beats. You just slap it in. So like, in comparison, it's like Blue Reflection 2 put their heart and soul into making the Atelier crossover mean something, and then you come to this game and it's like, it's kind of like, here you go, look, it's from Blue Reflection. And I was like, oh, that's it? Okay. On the music front, I kind of get it. Like, if it would like had its own story beat but just didn't have the music, I'd get it, because this game only came out like 5 or 6 months after Blue Affection Second Light. So if that crossover dungeon was already in the work whilst Blue Affection Second Light was in development, that music might not have been finalized while they were working on it. So the music not showing up, I get it. Everything else though, like, come on, you could have given me and me alone a little bit more. I'm forever salty that neither Mega Miracle Force or Chaos Champaru ever got a Western port. But do you think because of how many things it crossed over, the licensing is why it didn't get a Western port? Because that has been a problem sometimes with other games, where licensing has been like the biggest de facto reason why they can't get it around the world, because they have to re-establish, and some Western brands or Western ownership of companies aren't as friendly. And so in my opinion, if, and a few other fans could get our hands on Neptunia, we could get it back on track. Its incited was profit. Oh, it just didn't do well enough to justify fair. But then I think that can sometimes... I'm not saying it works every time, but the most classic example of a franchise not getting a Western release because it didn't do that well in Japan, and then eventually, like on a whim, the publisher says, ah, fuck it, let's just throw it in the West anyway, and it resulted in the franchise taking off, was Danganronpa. Danganronpa did miserably when it first came out in Japan. And so the publishing company had said no intention of porting it. It's like, there's no point, it's a little thing. But they had, I kid you not, like a dead zone bracket, like 3 or 4 years later, where they weren't working on anything, they didn't know what else to do, so they just went, you know what, let's just port those old Danganronpa games. Just get some voice cast together, just do it on the quick and cheap, throw them out, at least then we're doing something, you know? And it ended up being the spark that rejuvenated the franchise and made it as widely successful as it is today. So much so that that third game happened. And it's like... So, like, even if it doesn't do well in Japan, it doesn't immediately mean it's not worth throwing out there. Obviously, that could easily be argued as just a one-off, and I'd be like, yeah, that probably was. But Danganronpa still got to mean something with what it did. It didn't say and was a mobile game. Oh, right. So, if it's a mobile game, that's even more of a like a touchy subject. But you get what I mean. Like, it doesn't immediately mean you're out. You know, just because you've lost round 1 doesn't mean you're out of the competition. You can still do something else later with it to make it more. Because that's literally why Danganronpa became so successful. Anyway, I did it! The Groll Warding Stone is complete! That's amazing, Plachta. Now the Groll won't be able to cause any more damage. And especially if it's a mobile game. If a mobile game doesn't do well, you've done something wrong, because you don't have to make any effort whatsoever for a mobile game to do well because of the casual audience. And Mega Mirror Force was also several years ago. Like 3 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, so it's also kind of partially forgotten now as well. Like, it's another example, then, to use mobile, Spirit Pledge, the Data Life mobile game. It did adequately in Japan and China when it first came out. Like, it didn't do like super well, but it did alright. It came out in the West, made and because Compile Heart's name is associated with it, so it also made Compile Heart a lot of money. But it made literally everyone involved in that game's development millions. Spirit Pledge did obscenely well in the West. Like, it literally made millions. Like, it was on like the top of the charts for like a couple weeks at one point. It was like doing insanely well. So much so that they remastered it, for goodness sake. There's a Spirit Pledge HD now you can get. They're live really better receiving the rest from the start. Yeah. And the creator of Data Live has leaned into it. Their new work, I think it's called Engage Kiss. I might be misremembering. Right from the start, he had translators with him because he wanted it built from the ground up to lean into that Western audience. And it's why, like almost like the second it was out in Japan, there was already an announcement of it coming to the West. Like the creator knew. Like, he's not ignorant to it. He didn't try and lean into Japan and do his thing anyway. He's like, no. There's a market in the Western audience. I'm going there. And it's a smart fucking choice. You know? It's a smart choice. It is Engage Kiss, alright. Amazing plush. Now the Groll won't be able to cause any more damage. I can't say for certain that it will remove the threat entirely, but we can expect a sizable reduction. Ramazul, please tell me, where do you consider would be the best place to put this to use? Well, the Dream Tree, I should think. Oh yes, since the Dream Tree's crystal is also a Dream Core. The ginormous crystal is a Dream Core? In that case, it would be the most sensible place to start. Let us head over to the Dream Tree. Companies also have better economics and better currency strength than Japan. Yeah, true. Alright, that's enough listening to Arnis' theme. I was like, oh, that's Arnis' theme. I've got to stick around and jig for that. What I noticed was like, the point I'm going to make, I learned from Persona 4 Original in 2008, so I don't know how true it is still to this day. But in Persona 4, one of the lessons you can learn is that it takes the financial equivalent of 2 yen to make 1 yen. Because I know that was 2008, so who knows if that's changed, but it's literally the currency in of itself worked at a loss. And I don't know if it still does. Which is why it's such a struggling currency at points. If Mega Force had a way Westerners donate money to it, Mega Force would have had a port by now. Yeah. But I guess, like, especially as a publisher, you always have to take that decision of, is it worth the risk, or is it just going to cost us more money to do all the translation work, to do all the, maybe getting voice actors in if they decide to do that for like a dub, or to reanimate things to work better, or, you know, all that extra thing. Is it worth the money, or should we just cut our losses? And if it does really bad, they're always going to just cut their losses, aren't they? So they're like, well, what's the point? It was Reva's the crew app. You just mean, yeah, just be able to play it full fucking stop. But I'm saying, but as a publisher, the reason why it made it so awkward for it is because it's just, it becomes harder to argue as it goes on. YouTubers and I played Mega Miracle Force. Well, time to put this to the test. I mean, I get it to an extent. Although I'm not as excited with it because I don't really trust Konami that much, there is a Castlevania mobile game that apparently is actually pretty good. But you can't fucking play it in the West right now. And there's no announcement whatsoever of it ever coming to the West. And so it's just kind of sitting there like, okay, that game just exists and it's just something that people seem to be having fun with, but I guess we'll just never see it again. Donated, we had the option. Yeah, that's fair. Whoa, look at the Dream Core! Thank goodness, it seems to have worked. Hooray! Plushly, you saved the whole town! Oh, what a spectacular achievement! Oh, now we can all breathe a sigh of relief. Oh, Plushly. Plushly, she had the process to praise for a second. That's actually really cute. There was a little subtle moment of she had to process that these two were thanking her before she could be her cocky self. Indeed. Next, we just need to mass produce these stones. Mass? One isn't enough. Not in the least. With that single stone, we've only managed to cover Ratali and the Dream Tree. We must protect the other Dream Cores too, and that will require making a warding stone for each of them. Wants to go for a third crossover attempt, they need to plug in Western fans like me for extra profit. You know what they need to do first is fucking translate that fourth Data Live game. That fourth console Data Live game. How did Rendystopia come out in 2019 and we still haven't heard a single thing about any kind of dub or Western release? How does why? I liked those first 3 games. They were kind of jank and weird, but I liked them. And then Rendystopia, it's like, yes, you've got someone who's actively trying to kill you whilst you're doing everything. Oh, that sounds kind of cool. That's doing something different. Yes, and we're never going to release it outside of Japan. Oh, okay. Why? Suppose poorly is why. Yeah, but so did all the Data Live, like, visual novel games. They still did it. With Reincarnation, they still did it. Because Rene Utopia is the only one that's canon. The first one's the only one that's canon because it's based between season 1 and 2. which is why the third season of the anime directly references it because it's canon. Whilst Arasu Install and Reincarnation has to not be canon because it directly references events from another title that's not canon. It directly references Arasu Install, and Arasu Install isn't canon, which is tragic because I liked the Arasu sisters, Install 2 and Rio 0. Rio is an extended epilogue, so that I almost was almost a bit harsh because it's just an epilogue to Arasu Install, and Arasu Install, I loved it for its fuck around. The fact that it wasn't canon allowed them to take the leashes off and just kind of fuck around more. I had a lot of fun and a lot of laughs with it. If I had to give them scores, and you know I don't like doing this, but if I had to give them scores, it would genuinely be like 7.75. Because I liked Ruenheid Utopia, but not all the stories. I thought Yoshino was kind of and I thought Kotori was kind of it's alright, but the rest made up for it. I loved all the other endings, and especially the main ending. I choked up a little bit when I got to the end of Ruenheid Utopia. Arasu Install, I genuinely loved Maria. I thought she was such a cool bean, and I really liked her, and I liked seeing her. Just Mio? Yeah, but the events of that game had still happened. Like, Ruenheid Utopia, from the moment it came out, was confirmed canon. The events still happened. Mio doing that is because she knows. No one else remembers it. Obviously, she's in season 3, but she doesn't, like, they don't remember it. I'll say Mio first shows up in season 3 and also shows herself as Ruenheid, but she's more prominent in season 4. But she's doing it to highlight that she's completely aware of what happened in that pocket dimension and completely aware that everyone lost their memories in it, and is just mocking Shido in a way that Shido doesn't realize. Arena, but the problems I have Arasu Install had zilch to do with those characters. Because I like the stories, I like the mock-up. Not every single event landed, but enough of them did that I really enjoyed myself. And so why would I brutalize it and give it such a damning score for something that I liked that had problems? So I think that's the thing, and we've spoken about it before. It's the only, like... And I get why you do it, and I'm not going to take it away from you. But holy shit, sometimes the scores you give games, I'm sitting there and I'm like, that is so unnecessarily damning. You know? Rio is not a 0. No game ever is a 0. It's like a 5. It's alright. It's not anything special. It's not anything great, but it sure as shit is not a 0. No game's a 1 either. There's effort that went into it. There's care and time that went into it. And there's a development process that goes into it. You're just basically slapping them when you give it like a 0 or 1 or a 2. I'm not saying you do it for no reason. I'm just saying, like, holy fuck. Like, don't take it as me antagonizing or attacking you for it, sort of thing. I'm just saying I can't personally agree with that shit. Even if it's a game I absolutely detest, I'd still give it more than that. If it was a game I absolutely despised, I'd still be able to look at the development process, unless it was literally an effort by execution. Yeah, but even then, I still don't think anything deserves a fucking 0. Genuinely. That's just me. I don't know, this is just personally me, and so please don't take this as like me attacking or anything like that. It's just, even like the worst games I've ever played, like I think the worst kind of, if I had to give a score, was like at one point I played Star Wars Starfighter and I gave it like a 3. Because it's like, okay, I like what they were going for, I like the ideas, and I could feel what they were trying to do, but it just didn't work. If the game just doesn't have ideas, doesn't have structure, doesn't have anything, and then just fails as well on top of it, then yeah, sure, 0 and 1. But that's not realistic. No one makes a game without an idea. I don't know, maybe different understanding, we have different philosophies. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, no matter like how the execute, because yeah, there are points where like you can see what they wanted to do, but the execution just didn't fucking work. But in that thing, maybe it's just me being too nice. I can respect the effort, even if it didn't work. I can at least be like, okay, they tried this. What we got was this. They are not the same. Yikes. But it's but I'd still give it like a 3. I think as well, and I think as well is like my thing as well is that. And trust, and don't worry, this does relate, you just have to give me a second to get there. Because I'm a Sonic fan, I'm used to having a negative reaction to scores. that are brutalizing, because I've seen how damning and how much it can damage franchises thereafter because of misguided hate scores. A good example is actually Frontiers that just came out, where Digital Trends gave it a 1 out of 5 and called the developers lazy hacks. And it's like, it was a team of less than 60 people, and they made a fully functioning open world game with millions of shits to do, a really fun story and badass music. That's not giving them a 1 out of 5, calling them lazy hacks. That's not a score. That's just being a dick. That's just being an insult. That's not a review. And it's like, I think because of that, because that's Sonic's entire legacy. Most Sonic games have scores like that from major publishers that just attack them like that. And so I think to an extent for me, it's just been built into me. No game, even the games I absolutely fucking despise and think are just not worth anything, like Gen 6 of Pokemon, I think that game's complete shit. I'd still give that game like a 4, because like, I see what they were going for, and I see what the limitations are, and I appreciate the effort, but like, it just wasn't for me. Because for me, I just sit there and I'm like, there's real people that make these games, and there's real people that care about it and tried for this, and just being like, yeah, fuck you. I'm just like, no, they just spent years working on this thing, potentially. You know? They just spent, like, commitment of their time fighting for a paycheck, got underpaid anyway, got all the team together, got all the voice performances, got a series of composers in that probably had to work under way too tight schedules, had to have to argue with their publishers time and time again over what features they were allowed to make of their dream and what ones had to be compromised to suit the publisher, barely met deadlines, barely got it out on the day, just for some casual like reviewer to just go, nah, they didn't do good enough, 1 out of 10, fuck off. And you're like, I can't do that. Personally, I just couldn't. I can't. Rio, it comes across as unnecessary fluff. Is it Rio's entire existence wasn't to be its own game? It was to just be an epilogue to RS2 install, just to tie up some loose ends. The only thing I didn't like with Rio is bringing back Renee. As much as I enjoyed the scenes with Renee, I felt she worked best when she was just in Renee Utopia. I thought when she came back in Rio, it was nice to see her again, but I was like, there's nothing else to do with you. Whilst Maria, it did feel like, and especially Marina, because you don't see Marina until like right near the end, it was good to see them again, to actually give them more of a chance, to give them more spotlight, to give them more pieces. I didn't warrant one though. I don't know. I said for Marina, it certainly fucking did, because she got nothing. She needed something before we let her go, or she would have literally just ceased. And Maria, yeah, there was a lot there, and they did close most things up, but there still were a couple things that at the end of that game, I was like, well, what was that about? And maybe that's just because I was so hyper-focused on the story and so into it, I noticed the little things, and Rio did go out of its way to address a lot of those little things, so it was more satisfying for me. Into the score. And if it's, I know you say you take it for the game itself and not the development behind it, so you take it for just the final product. But that doesn't mean the people that find your score won't see it that way. Obviously, like, we're just two little muppets in the corner of YouTube. It's not like big AAA developers are going to read our reviews or hear our opinions, so it probably doesn't matter. But there's a chance that one developer that worked on it will read it and just feel and be like, well, fuck, and you've just ruined their day because you hated something that they spent their heart on. And so maybe they're thinking that's just me, and I completely accept that if that's the case, that it's just me. But I just couldn't do that. It's also why, like, if I ever review games, I don't give scores. I just tell them what I like and what I don't. I don't like scores in general, because I just feel like that's too damning and too judging. It's why I always hesitate to give scores. Like, even when I'm going through these games, I hesitate to give scores. I do it just to try and break it down, but it's why I'm leaning more to just doing the tier list thing, because then I don't have to give scores. I don't have to be like, oh yes, I give Knights of Azure 2 a 4 and Furious a 5, or shit like that, because it's like, no. It's just, I think, like, this game is the weaker one, these ones are the better ones. And you take my score personally, you can always ask for additional input. Yeah, that's fair too. Opinion is built on a set of structures and philosophies. Yeah, but it also puts too definitive of a point on something that's never that easy to just explain. Because both Dead Space and Sonic Frontiers are 7 out of 10s on average scores. But it doesn't change the fact they are radically different beasts, and what make them 7 out of 10s are radically different. You know? I'd rather be like, this is this game's strengths, this is this game's weaknesses, than just be like, this is a 7. Or, both God of War Ragnarok and The Last of Us Part 2 are considered 10 out of 10s. For very different reasons why they got those scores, and there's very different things that I agreed and disagreed with on those points. Just giving them those scores doesn't do justice of what's actually there. Stop at the score. Yeah, but that's what I mean. But I'm saying, but the score, 99% of people when they look at reviews look at the score and not the read up, which is why that number. That's why those numbers still exist. But it's why I so passionately disagree with them. I'd rather go on a website and the review just say recommend or not recommend. Honestly, and then if you click recommend, then it comes up with all the list that works and doesn't or whatever. Because the moment the score's there, it becomes too definitive and almost manipulative, especially when it's like AAA reviewers. Like if it's like IGN know for a fact their score it will reflect sales. They know for a fact it will affect sales. If they give it a low score, that game's fucked. Classic example, God Hand. They gave it a 3 out of 10. That game did not sell at all when it came out. And it was only way later on when people were saying, actually, this game's pretty good, that it started to creep up again. A rough guideline. Yeah, it's like I don't do reviews that much anymore, which is a shame because I really want to. I like doing it. It's just, if I'm not live streaming, I'm writing. If I'm not writing, I'm working. And if I'm not working, I'm trying to recover. That I don't get time for reviews. But if I ever still did do reviews and got back on it, you'd see in them I never give scores. I just say I liked it, or I wasn't too keen, or I thought this was good but this was bad. Like, I keep it more opinionated and not numbered. But that's enough about that, because we'll be discussing that for the rest of time. If we're honest, we'll both be discussing it for the rest of time. We have our ways. To quote, because I'm still in the Sonic mood, to quote "Open your heart," we both have our own ways that we won't change. If I was ever given a score by someone, I'd ask what they found to be an issue and work from there. Yeah, I get that, but that's not everyone, unfortunately. Really unfortunately, there's a lot fewer people. Maybe it's me being pessimistic to society at large again, but most people look at things at a base value and don't question it further. So they would just look at 2 out of 10 and go, "Oh, it's the worst game ever," and then never look at it again. You know, even if there's actually some merit or like some niche that fulfills them. You know, like there might, because that's always the biggest crux, and it's always the biggest thing. No matter what game it is, no matter how good or bad it is, someone's gonna like it. There's gonna be a niche it will suit, and a number doesn't let that niche find it unless they really fucking dig beyond it. But if it says, "Oh, this game is really good for its tactical attributes and its animational character style and all this stuff, but the story's not too great," someone will look at it and go, "Tactical RPG," and start rubbing their hands together. Even if the game has like but if it just says, "Oh, Final Fantasy Tactics 2 out of 10," people who actually like it don't spot that. That's a bad example because everyone loves Tactics, but you get my point. That's a bad example because Tactics was like a 10 out of 10. It's considered like the second best Final Fantasy ever made. But that's that's besides the point. You get what I mean? It was just the first game that came to my mind. Was supposed to appease the system? Yeah, because you don't have a choice anymore. Unfortunately. Giving a score and me like, read more if you want to know more about it. No one does that. And so that number becomes the definitive whether you like it or not. And you can't unfortunately change the world. So I would rather, even if it means making it more awkward for them, I would rather just be, this is what I like, this is what I don't. So then the people who are into it can find it. And the people who don't like the fact it's not just numbers when they sit through the review, are forced to make their own opinion instead of just relying on a number. But enough about that. Enough about that. Enough about that. So we will be here all day. Can't change the world. I have to disagree with you. Agree to disagree with you there. You can change people. You can't change the globe. Especially because we're now, checks notes, 8 billion people big. No, don't you apologise. I started the conversation. I was the one that started the conversation. We started bringing up scores, and I went, oh, about scores! And we started there. I was the one that brought it up. Anyway, we must protect the other dream cores too, and that will require making a warding stone for each of them. Wait, you mean we have to do this 3 more times? Oh, just that one took a ton of work, didn't it? What's with Sophie's face? That is why I shall require your assistance in collecting the remaining materials. So he's like, huh, me? Oh, well, having to do but get the job done. Yep, we've got to get to the other dream cores before the Groll attack them. Is that genuinely our quest now? Make 3 more of these fucking things? Or do we keep the one we got? Hang on. Boink, boink, boink. Let's go with that. Please don't tell me I genuinely have to go make 3 more. That'd be so tedious. Especially because I don't know if I have enough stones. Oh my god! Okay! Okay! Alright, let's go make 3 more. Oh, at least we get to listen to Arnis's theme again. Do I have 3? Okay, I do have enough rust-proof hearts, okay. No, that button. I know that it's gonna add it terribly, but... Look at this. Why have an auto system if it's not going to do any maths? I think that's the only thing I don't like about this auto system. I wish like it would like not solve everything for you, because otherwise you'd only ever use auto, but at least try and link some things up for goodness sake. Look, this just slaps everything everywhere and just goes, if there's room, it can go there. God damn, that's raining again. Wow, that one actually ended up kind of decent. You think it heard me? I was like, that one actually ended up not too bad. It heard me. It's like, alright, fine, we'll do a bit of maths. Here, have a 420... Right, now we've got 3 of the things. Is there anything else I really kind of want to make? We need harmonians for all the special weapons anyway, so that's off the table. Dun, 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 dun. I need a rainbow neutralizer. Oh! Yeah, right, I forgot we got the ability to make them. Oh, you need a dragon bloodstone. I forgot about that. Can I duplicate that dragon bloodstone before we go crazy with this? Hey, Perker. I've got something I need you to duplicate. Please tell me you can duplicate dragon bloodstones. She can't, can she? No, that would be too easy. All I feel is pain, Perker. You've disappointed me. Well, just to try and make the best neutralizer we can, then duplicate the neutralizer. Oh, I can use the Groll Warding Stone, I guess. Pain. It's like, this is too important. After, like, Sophie won, I'm like almost protective of Dragon Bloodstones. If I put enough in. Like that. How much would this affect it? Not at all. Oh, I should get away with that. Do I get away with it again? Oh, I do get away with it again. Oh, oh. Do I get away with it again? I can keep getting away with it. Shit. Until there's no room. What this one? Okay, that's enough. That's too much. The game says no, 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 no. You've had enough, boy. Perker, can you dupe this at least? Atta girl. Thank you. Boing, boing, boing. Let's get over that. This little bump, why is it here? Just to make you have to do an extra jump. God damn, yeah, so we got one that was actually pretty decent just by letting it randomize. Oh, yeah, yeah. Here we go. Here you go. Our work is finished. Now the dream core is safe. Turns out alchemists do a heck of a lot more than what I ever when I can speak than I ever thought. You fixed the dream core that Elvira made and came up with a way to protect them. That basically means alchemists are on the same level as a goddess, right? I mean, yes. Alette, it doesn't really work like that. I mean, she's right though. While the possibilities in alchemy are of course endless, there aren't many alchemists like Sophie or Plachta. With practice, I might be able to accomplish similar things someday, but at least for now, those two are way out of my league. So, Sophie and Plachta indeed possess a rare talent. Jeez, what does praise make me blush? I simply did what I could. Alright, we don't have had time to hang around and chat. We've got other dream cores to protect. Good, do you think this would... I just thought for a second. Realistically, the amount of damage all the characters are going to do to their skin when we teleport from icy ice to the heart of the volcano in a second. The amount of damage from the temperature shift it would do would be obscene. Like, that would hurt. That would genuinely hurt, going from that cold to that hot. Alright, only one more to go. Indeed. We must make haste to the final call. We cannot predict the Groll's next movement. No time for a breather, huh? We just gotta keep on going. Ramazal, is something wrong? No, it's just something about the dream core that's bugging me. Do you believe there is a problem? It's not that, it's the atmosphere surrounding the dream core. Or would it be more correct to say the wavelengths coming from it? Either way, I get the feeling I've sensed it before. Somewhere else. The atmosphere? Sorry, never mind. I'm sure it's nothing. We should get moving. Meanwhile... The Groll. Monsters with the power to possess other monsters and consume people's dreams. Because of them, the poor people of Atali. Don't do anything stupid. They used to be overflowing with brilliant sparkly dreams. But now, people who used to chat happily about their dreams look out at this world with dead eyes. Don't do anything reckless. I can't let this go on. I'm the one who made this world. I created Ruenheid. So I've got to be the one to set things right. Don't do anything stupid, madam. You're more naive than you'd ever realize, and you're just going to end up accidentally causing more problems for yourself. And then all you'll get is a firm talking to from Rami, and you don't want that. I'm not scared of the lightning per se, I'm just worried about getting hit by it. I think that's called being scared of lightning, Plachta. There, that's all of them. It's finished. That should stave off any further Groll attacks. We did it! How will the dream core should be safe? You said that. We haven't actually seen any Groll going after dream cores since our fight with the Zamai. Well, that's probably just because they can't put as much of a scratch on them without possessing a monster as strong as the Zamai. The Guardians are already enough to hold back most monsters, and now the dream cores are as safe as they can be. It's a trap, though, of some kind. I sense it. I think Diebold can as well. Zamai. Friends, I must profess my deepest apologies. Diebold, what's wrong? The Zamai. It must have been born into this world from my own dream. I have endangered this entire world and caused everyone great hardship. Ain't nothing you could have done. That's right, I mean, there's no way anyone could have seen this coming. It's not like people have control over their dreams. Dreams come to you naturally, made from thoughts about what you'd like to do for yourself and for others. Even if the Zamai was born from your dream, you realized that it was not in fact your true dream. And you then broke free from by your own hand. That is by no means an easy feat. Exactly, so pull yourself together, Diebold. I see. Yes. Thank you. I am truly blessed to have such wonderful companions. Okay, we better go report back to Plachta. Oh, I think of... Uh-oh. The fact we're going to the commercial district and not straight to our Plachta worries me. I like how these two always lead the pack. Huh? What's happening over there? Thank you ever so much, Miss Elvira. Because of you, I got my dream back. I'm just glad you're feeling better. What'd she do? You simply aren't enough words to convey my gratitude. Thank you for restoring them. Oh, you don't need to thank me. Just tell me all about your dream later. Ellie, what's going on? Oh, Rami! Ramazul, Miss Elvira has just saved all of us. Miss Elvira was able to get rid of those monsters who were possessing us. What? Ellie, you could do that? It's amazing, Elvira. You're a miracle worker. I just felt like I should step up a bit, since I am a goddess and all. I kept thinking that I had to do something, and then all of a sudden I could. Oh, because it is your dream. Wait, is that really the sort of power that one can just stumble across? Because she's... I think she is literally the goddess of dreams. So all of her power comes to her when she desires, when she dreams for it. I'm just theory crafting. But of course it is. Or, more likely, she's lying. Because she doesn't want Ram to worry too much. Because that seems to be her trait. That she kind of solves things in ways that hurt her further. But then she doesn't like letting Ram know it's doing that because she knows Ram won't approve. Of course it is. Besides, all that matters is that it worked. Three cheers, Miss Elvira! Hip hip hooray! Wow, wow, wow! She really cured everyone! The entire populace has returned to normal. So what did I miss? I made 3 more of the things. Because the game demanded I made 3 more of them instead of just letting the plot advance, and I protected all the dream cores. Ram suspects something's up, and we just came back and Elvira has cured all the people of their Groll possession infestation. And she's seeming to try and make out that because she dreamed for it so much, it means that she got it. And I'm saying, although that's definitely Earth Fury, considering her power, I think it's more likely that she's done something that's going to negatively affect her in the future, and she just doesn't want Ram to know, because that seems to be everything she does directly hurts her in some way or another, and she doesn't like Ram knowing because she knows Ram won't approve. Act befitting a goddess. I'm a rotten goddess. There's only so much I can't. There's so much I can't do. Come on, don't be like that. You're a damn fine goddess. You helped everyone out. Arigato. Everyone, thank you. Wow, that's really something. Yes, how great of a feat she has accomplished. The power of a goddess really is awe-inspiring. Perhaps the divine powers also grow alongside the dream tree. It's hard to say, but it can't be a bad thing, right? Everyone was counting on Ellie, and she did everything she could. Oh, Sophie, welcome back. How were the dream cores? Just fine, thanks to Plachta. I see. Then I'm proud of my success. Thank you, future me. Yeah, it is truly disconcerting to have 2 of the same person present. It becomes far easier if you simply think of us as 2 different people. More importantly, while you have only just returned, I have another request for you. Does it perchance concern the Groll? No, there is a region to the northeast of town that no person has yet set foot. You mean the only chunk of the map we've yet to go? I was wondering when the game was going to say we're going here. I hoped you might go and investigate it for me. Is a place like that? Elvira informed me that an area she has been working on is now complete and the path there has been connected up. Which means an entirely new region to explore. Now this is the first mightily interesting news I've heard in a while. Why would you say that when your older self is right there to cringe about it? Like young Plush is like mightily curious, and every single time I imagine Doll Plush just gets like a shiver down her spine, even if she doesn't hear it. As I was saying, I need you to investigate the area and report back to me. Will you do this? Sure, I like exploring places. It's fun. Sophie, you must bear in mind that this is no frolic. Oh, and I should mention, Elvira said you would be pleasantly surprised by what awaits you there. Pleasantly surprised? I wonder what kind of place did she make? I'm happy as so long as there's no volcano. Let's head out as soon as everyone's ready to go. Oh, fucking Christ. Oh god, I just looked at my mouth like, oh god, there's events around. That's plot, so we're going out through that way. Is that the hot spring, perchance? Because I bet there's going to be a hot spring scene. Is that the hot spring scene, perchance? Oh, lo and behold, it's the hot spring scene. Alright, let's go see what how they animeify this. Oh, well, we've got to fight for it first. We've got to fight for the right for anime. I'm always nervous, more than excited, when there's hot spring scenes in any anime game. Because most of them are stupid, and that's being nice. You get a couple. I genuinely didn't mind Tales of Rises, because it was two. One specifically for the blokes and one specifically for the ladies. So it felt like everyone was included a little bit and it was all more tongue-in-cheek. But most of them are just, all the boys are perverts now because we said so. And that's the entire hot spring event. And then they get their comeuppance and we all have a chuckle about it. And when it's those ones, I just kind of roll my eyes because it's just like, oh, right, this again. Excuse me, Big Durgan, don't want to fight you again. It's like, now there's no pressure, let's go to the hot spring. That's what it's going to be, isn't it? Oh right, there's a hot spring here. But I completely forgot to bring a bathing suit. I guess I'll just have to pass on it again. Fear not, my friends. I had a feeling this might happen, so I brought some extra for everyone. Isn't that a bit too convenient? Oh, who cares? Good thinking, Alette. You know me, always prepared for anything. So now there's nothing more to hold us back, right? Come on, let's jump in. I like how she still keeps the earpiece on. I like plus she still keeps the earpiece on. It's like, no, just let your hair down. I see that Sophie's still got her hair done up on the braids on the side still. Meanwhile, the two boys chilling in the hot tub 5 feet apart. Where's Alette? Oh, this is the life. The water's perfect. I think Ram's still got her little crown thing on. And her hair's still done up. Like, just let your hair down. Come on, it's the whole point of a hot spring. Relax. But I suppose then they'd have to, like, model the characters with their hairs down, so... I thought going for a dip in the volcanic spring was ridiculous, but it's quite nice. It feels like my body's becoming one with the water. I know exactly what you mean. Oh, this feels amazing. Where's Alette? Yeah, open air baths are the best, right, Diebold? Fair. Fair. Diebold. Fair. You're asleep? Oh man, wake up, don't doze enough in the tub. Me? Asleep? No, I was simply resting my eyes. And perhaps also my consciousness. That's what sleeping is, genius! There she is. Wow, model pose there, Alette. Fuck. Model posing. Holy. I know how it feels. I tend to fall asleep in the bath. Last time, Perko actually kept to come wake me up. Alette, you can never be trusted to live on your own. Why is she not hopping in though? T-bones me in a hot spring? Yeah, he's all of us. I would be the same. I think I would just clock out. This place really is hellishly hot, but with baths like this, I wouldn't mind coming back. Agreed. Still, it's a bit far from Atali. Could we really justify it just for a soak? Alette. I guess not. Hey, say Sophie, what if you and Blanche to build an inn here? You could do that with alchemy, right? Just like, bam, brand new building. Ooh, good idea. Alright, you two, hop on it. I'm gonna stress, the only thing you have to do is sleep, yeah. It's like when you have a hot bath. If I ever, like, I very, very, very rarely have hot baths, but if I have a hot bath, I do get tired, because you like everything in your body just kind of relaxes into it. Alchemy isn't all powerful. Sophie, you tell them. So it's gonna be like, actually, you'd have to create something that could withstand the heat. So in terms of materials, don't you start thinking up recipes. Yeah, alchemy's truly amazing. Alette, stop just standing there like a weirdo. Get in the water. Alright, any longer in here and we'll boil. I'd love to stay longer, but it's about time we moved on. Alright, I respect that hot spring scene. You know why? Because it was just them being cozy. There was no, it wasn't fan servicey, really. Well, other than the fact they was in bikinis, but if you're really going to say bikinis is fan servicey, that's kind of weird because people are allowed to wear bikinis and it not be sexual. Yeah. But that was actually kind of cozy. It's like, can Alette like not swim or something? And she's just, that's why she doesn't. But then why didn't she at least like dip her feet? You better not lie. Also, Sophie absolutely can make a hut. Like, considering all the things she makes, especially later in her life, she absolutely can make a hut. What's Rami up to? The dream tree's looking great. It is, and that worries me. What do you mean? Remember that chat we had about dream vessels and how they use portions of her power? Ellie must be in a weakened state. Think about it. It's like she's cut off a part of herself. And yet, she helped the people who's been possessed by the Groll, didn't she? Well, that's because she's the goddess of dreams, isn't it? I guess so, but I can't stop worrying that she's being reckless again, you know? And yeah, you're probably right on the money. You could interdimensional tent and you can make an interdimensional tent and a black hole. Yeah, she absolutely could make it, but that's why Plachi had to step in and be like, no, let your creative brain turn off for a minute. And yet, it looks so healthy. It's unsettling. But if the dream tree is okay, that means Elvira's in good spirits, right? So I'm sure it's fine. Maybe I am overthinking it. Yeah, you're right. Must be fine. No, Ram, you're probably onto something. Elvira's probably a Plachi waifu. Yeah, we do. Alright, now to start this mess. Look at how many scenes. Let's start with Burger. Burger, I need your comfort. Hey, Perker, are you... Thank you, Sophie. Did I do something worth thanking me for? You did. Don't you remember that necklace you gave me the other day? It's been super handy. It's better than anything I expected. Really, it's nothing special, it just glows a little. Shh! I know I said that at first too, but I realised how great it is after I started using it. Also, is this the first time you've seen Perker's hands? I think that's the first time I've ever seen her hand. I know that's an odd thing to notice, but it's like I've never actually seen her hand because of the clothing. I said it first too, but now I realised how great it is that I've actually started using it. The necklace glows exactly when I need it to, even if I think I'm feeling fine. Thanks to that, my mind feels clearer than it has in ages. But I thought you already knew how many times you could duplicate before getting tired. Only until I zonk out, this necklace started glowing before any of that happened. Yeah, Danny approached my dummy stopped thinking for a while. I mean, in my life it turns my brain to mush for a while. Yeah, I hear you, dude. I hear you. I just need warmth. Sometimes, you know, that's all I need. Sometimes, like, my brain goes, like, into places it shouldn't, and I just need the warmth of, like, a loving embrace, and I know I'd be fine. I could just melt into someone's arms. One day. I thought I knew how to use my duplication power, but now I realize I wasn't handling it very well. It's like that meme. It's like what women think men want, what men actually want, and it's like what women think was like it's all like sex or like guns and war. It's like what they actually want. It's just like a cuddle. It's like that's me. I am the cuddle. Just give me a cuddle and I'll be fine. Especially because I've been told I give good hugs, so it's a win-win. You win, I win. I wasn't handling it very well, but with your help, I learned how to work together with this power. That's great. I'm just glad I could help. Yeah, and it isn't just me you helped, Sophie. This is something that will help the descendants of my clan for generations to come. That's 14 odd years. Ugh. For me, as I said before, it's because I was like severely, physically, mentally, and abused in college by my ex for like 2 years straight, that it left me with minor PTSD, and so sometimes my brain just starts wandering on its own without warning. Like it just kind of goes into dark places, even if I'm in like a good mood, if it's a great day sort of thing, it just kind of goes somewhere. And so having someone like Plutchy, like, or having someone just like be that can be like, no, just shut up and snuggle up. But someone that just say, no, we're watching a movie tonight, we're getting under the blanket together, shut up, come on. Sort of thing is probably the biggest thing I'd need. Sometimes would be the biggest comfort to just have someone be a little bit authoritative in making sure I'm comforted. Because of you, I can pass this knowledge on, and you have no idea how thankful I am. Thank you so much, Sophie. Trophy unlocked. No more Mr. Sandman. Gave Perker a pendant to stave off her sleepiness. Oh, does that mean, since we got the trophy, does that mean it's the end of the Perker? I mean, suspect tendencies. Oh. No, because I want more scenes with Perker. I don't know what it is with this clan, and me immediately just gravitating towards them, but I love Corey and I love Perker. Oh, there's still more Perker scenes at least, just not character driven, I guess. Da da da! Congrats, Sophie. Wait, don't tell me. Yup, you guessed it, an even bigger discount for my favorite customer. Yay! Yay! Yeah, Sophie and I are on the same brain. Are you sure about this, Perker? Can you afford to go that low? Don't you ever worry about me. You're easily buying enough to cover my losses. Oh, in that case, don't mind if I do. That's going even cheaper. More traumas and memories. And hopefully one day you can find the comfort that that you get more better memories. Oh, is this continuing the art stuff with Gnome? It's okay, he took her coat off again. Gnome sure is working hard. He really ought to be putting all that effort into his art, though. Why not tell him that? I'm sure he'd listen to you. He might, but he also said he loves working here just as much, so I can't really say anything. Increasingly doubtful. It's easy to feel that way. I know I'm younger and less experienced with life in general as a 23-year-old and whatnot, but I still hold on to that there has to be something. I mean, I've been single for like 6 years, and I desperately wish I wasn't, and it makes me miserable that I don't have that comfort when it happens. As my throat cracks, there you go. That's like I'm a fucking child. But, I still hold faith that eventually one day that will change. Because I have to. It's not necessarily, as I say, it's not necessarily a matter of naivety. It's more of a matter of I feel like I have to. Because if I don't, I'll crumble. And I keep myself occupied anyway, so if I'm not doing this, I'm writing. If I'm not writing, I'm working. I keep myself occupied. What I've had. I think for me, and it is Stockholm Syndrome. I do have minor Stockholm Syndrome. I've had 4 relationships in my life. The first one I was cheated on. The second one barely lasted 5 minutes. The third one resulted in me getting physically, mentally, and abused for 2 years straight. And the last one was extremely manipulative and just used me as basically like a prize because I was slightly more middle class and like slightly posher, and that was it. And so all my relationships have been kind of bad, but I still long for one anyway because I know they can be better. So it is almost like a form of Stockholm, because it's like I want a relationship, I want to have someone in my life, I want to be able to have that codependence. Not completely, because I can look after my fucking self, I can cook a little bit, but just, you know, to have a supporter here and there. One of my issues. But yeah, but if someone loves you enough, they won't be a bother. And that's the thing, like you find someone, you find one of your things, and then you learn more about each other, because the people you're with, even if it's less problems than what you're going through, less or more, doesn't matter, you learn with them a little bit, don't you? Like, I've only got so much experience in this, obviously, but you learn with them. So, like, yeah, you learn that this is part of their weakness, this is part of what it is, and you can be supportive of them, and it would never be a burden. And it'd be the same the other way around for you. It's just another piece of how relationships work. And I know it's easy to say. I'm completely aware of that. That's very easy to say. But if you're with someone and you end up with someone and it is that right person, you will learn of all the little faults that they have, and the same way they will learn all of your little faults. But they already fell for you, and they knew that was part of the package. That their things could arise, even if it was stuff that they maybe didn't expect or was more severe than they first assumed. And they'd be supportive of it. For most of my life, I've been physically violent. Then, yeah, unfortunately, that's resulted in a pre-built mindset for you. And I'm not trying to make it out like you're a robot, but that's not what I mean. Because it's the same with everyone. You do have that thing where it's like, what happens in your life defines what happens in the next step of your life more than it ever should. But unfortunately, we're all human, so it does that. Here's the thing. I don't like people knowing my weaknesses. I can't trust someone not to use it for their gain. And I completely get that. But at the same time, someone you end up with might not even see... Well, I say might, probably won't even see it as a weakness. They'll just see it as part of you. They'll accept that as part of you. In the same way, they will reveal everything they are back to you. So you take what you have, and you take what you have and take what you can get in those senses. Because although I don't have that in partners, I do have that in friends, where people really know what goes on with me and know some of my shortcomings and what's going on, yet still make a point to talk to me. Like, they haven't been scared off or anything like that, because they know I can be a mess to handle if I'm in a bad place. They still talk to me. They still do all that stuff. And I firmly believe there are people like that for everyone, no matter how rough things have been and how warped or twisted parts of who you are is, for whatever reason. It's just obviously those people are easier to find for some people and harder to find to others, because that's just life. Weaknesses, it was abused at the age 13. Yeah, and that was what, like, I think you said before you're in your 30s. That's 2 decades ago. It's okay to take a risk. Again, I know that's easier said than done, because even I struggle. But it's okay to just, you don't necessarily have to dive into relationships, you don't necessarily have to give them your life story, but just, if you can feel comfortable in trying, talk to new people, and just see what happens. So obviously, I can't make any guarantees, because humans are fickle. Now I'm sounding like the robot. Humans are fickle, but it's better than being so untrusting and then making yourself more miserable for the rest of time. You know, it's a dangerous game, sure, but it's one that the payoff can be, even from my experiences, can be so good. Have the warmth and comfort of another person that smiles with you even when you're struggling and will still hold your hand even when you're at your worst. That kind of people. Feels for a woman anyways. Same, brother. No, in all seriousness, everyone has something. Just be you and you will find someone who fits you. And I mean that in a positive way. I don't mean as in you'll just find someone else who's also deeply riddled in terrible things that have happened to them that shouldn't have and whatnot. I mean as in, like, you'll find someone who becomes that jigsaw piece for both of you in ways you either of you realised. And I'm saying that as someone who has, like, no self-confidence. You know? There's gonna be someone. This is coming from someone who, like, foolishly put himself on Tinder for 3 months. Not a single fucking person swiped left or whichever way it was, like, in favour of me. And so I came off it because I firmly believed I must be ugly then. You know, like... it's awkward regardless how you put it, but I'm either taken or uninterested in relationships entirely. Yeah, I feel that one, but it's because it's just unfortunately the nature of the beast. It does, you are going to have, I'm trying to think how to word this. You're always going to have missteps or things not happen or not be interested or whatnot on the road to the one that is, right? And I know that's kind of cliched to an extent, but you're always going to do that. My friend's already in a relationship or asexual. Yeah. I get that. All my friends are either... For me, it's not that they're asexual, it's either all my friends are taken or gay. Like, and that's not or anything against them, obviously, at all. It's literally just my type ends up happening to be women who happen to also be into other women. I'm like, fuck! I'm like, if my type of women ends up being ones that are not stereotypically, because that's not the right way to put it, but usually end up like that way, and I'm like... But I still have faith. I still have faith, because it's all I got. I have to. Anyway, hello Sophie. Thank you again for those marvellous paintbrushes. How are they? Easy to use? Yes, very much so. They've made painting even more enjoyable, if you can believe it. Good for you, no? I really mean it. As an adult, it gets harder to find things that truly inspire you, so count yourself lucky, hmm? Nothing to worry about, he's got plenty of time to figure it out. I suppose you wouldn't know, huh? Gnome's been here for a number of years now. He's actually quite a bit older than you, Sophie. What? I'm so sorry, I thought you were younger than me. Oh, I've been so rude. Please don't worry about it. Honestly, I prefer it this way. I might be older, but you are far more worldly. If anything, you are more of an adult. I suppose you weren't brought up in an environment that most people would consider normal. Oh, sorry, hilarious how cute Platchy leads to weird discussions. Yeah, but one man, with your time that you've spent in my chat, like over the months and whatnot, what's new? What's new with us? If we start chatting about something, we chat forever about it. Remaining a child forever. Once I've made a name for myself, I'll be spending my days here and my evenings at my Essel. Then I'll be able to call myself an adult with my head held high. You sure you'll want to keep working here once you're a big shot? Of course! As long as I'm living in Urgewide, I won't even think about quitting. So I'm afraid you have to put up with me a little while longer. Well, I suppose that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I would never say no to Trophy Unlocked on Spin. I never say no to Katie either. Come on. You'd be an idiot to say no to her. Is that bar full? I can never tell. Ooh, Abyss Tyrant. Consider me curious, I'll pick that up. And that's in the same area, so I can pick it up. For fuck's sake, Casey, he's clearly into you. Not that I blame him, but like Katie too. Yeah. Yeah, the hourglass figure they got going on her is like one of the craziest like Gus character designs ever, which is why I always comment when she takes her coat off. So I'm like, because Jesus Christ. Like, but yeah, no, her personality is really endearing as well. I feel like there's a lot more to do now every day compared to before. Really? Yeah, we've been running around a lot lately. I kind of wish we had some free time to kick back though. You're feeling a little tired? Not quite. I just wish we had more time to relax and chat. We haven't been able to do that yet, have we? That's true. I wish we had more time to just talk too. Alright, how's this? After we finish what we need to do, the two of us should just explore Ruenheid. We could pack a tent and the bare essentials and go on a little trip. Doesn't that sound fun? Oh, it does! Oh, but before coming here, I was actually on my way to take the alchemy license exam. I feel like Plaksha would tell me to stay and study instead of running around who knows where. I'm sure a small trip would be fine. I'll even ask her for you if you'd like. But you're trying to become a licensed alchemist, huh? I could never see myself achieving that. That's not true! You know, what made me want to get licensed in the first place was because my grandma was a licensed alchemist. Your grandma? Wait, what? No way! I would never even get the recommendations needed for the exam with my skills to begin with. But you really were a licensed alchemist. I saw your certificate with my own eyes. That's what made me set out on my journey to take the exam. My grandma has always been my hero since I was little. I wanted to be an alchemist just like her. Me? Your hero? Me? A licensed alchemist, huh? Do I really have what it takes? Yes! Yes, Ram, stop doubting yourself! So Mrs. Vero was the one that helped you. I'm glad to hear you're doing better. I am, but just thinking back on it, it's terrifying. In an instant, I felt I couldn't care less about the dream I've worked long and hard to achieve. Or about anything else, really. I was drifting along, haunted by this strange feeling of loss. Just hearing about it is horrifying enough, so those monsters are really capable of that. Knowing such creatures exist, it makes this place a little scary. Oh, I wouldn't feel that way. We have a goddess on our side. It's thanks to Miss Elvira that I've regained my dream. Make no mistake about that. Yeah, as long as she's here, we've got nothing to fear. That's right. Everything will be just fine with Miss Elvira around, won't it? Exactly. She's the very model of a deity. Everyone's so happy. Elvira really is amazing. And Aled, how's business going now people have got hearts again? Oh, doing well. Come on, step right up. Today's the store's first ever grand sale. If there's something you've got your eye on, you better grab it. Once we're sold out, that's it. Whoa, what's with this crowd? What's going on? You really put everything you had in stock on sale? Yep, I think I probably should start getting my stuff in order before I go home. Alette, you're leaving? Not at this very moment, but that chat we had earlier really got me thinking. This world is a ton of fun. There are people from all different time periods and no end to the unique items. I'm sure that so long as I keep running my shop here, I'll end up rolling a ridiculous amount of coal. But the difference between selling things here and back home is like night and day, right? At this rate, when I go back, I'll just end up having to just live off what I've made here. I mean, I plan to earn enough that I'd be comfortable doing just that, but I want to be a merchant until the day I die. So I want to take the skills I picked up here and put them to test back home. Don't you think that'd make for a way more exciting life? Yeah, I think it's a wonderful dream, and knowing you, you're bound to succeed. If they ever make another Mysterious game based after this, I'm curious. I mean, hoping that these characters are close enough to Sophie's era to see them, but I'm curious to, like, see them. Like, in the real world, and then they've matured a bit more and grown up a bit. Especially if they're, like, slightly in the future, and we get to see, like, Alette as a little kid. Because Alette came from slightly in the future in our time, so it's like they only know one. Actually, no, that would fuck around with this, wouldn't it? So no. But you maybe, like, when they're both, older then. Thanks, Sophie. To tell the truth, I'm a little nervous about it, but you better believe I'm going to be a huge success. I've loved every minute I've spent here, and there's no way I'll let this experience go to waste. Still not the end of her character arc, because we haven't got the final heart, or the final friendship thing. What's going on at the Atelier? What's with the party? Oh, hey, Elias, coming in. Oh, hey, you got a minute, Sophie? Where are you taking me? So, I tried out that crystal ball thingy you gave me before. Oh, great. Were you able to see your world? Yeah. Nobody was moving or anything. Time flows differently there than here, so that makes sense. Right, well, I guess I should be thankful. You could tell they're doing alright. You looked at your family? Yeah, I mean, ain't that why you made it? Tch. It's only been a few years since I saw them, but now my parents are old and all the kids are so big. Did you see your sister? The one who's like me? It's weird how fast girls grow up. Not a little kid anymore. And they don't look as poor as I remember either. I mean, I reckon they're doing just a bit better than before. But it's good that everyone looked well, right? So it's like you're kind of avoiding the question a little bit. Yep, but my family's just way too big. You gotta still be having trouble getting by. Maybe I should go back home. You mean it? It's my job is the oldest to take care of them. They're hopeless without me. Of course they'll probably get angry at me since I didn't come back for so long. Still, I want to go live with them again. I want to say sorry for taking so long to come home and start supporting them as part of the family. I guess I figured out my dream. Thinking about it, it was probably my dream from the start. I just didn't realize. That sounds like a great dream. That ain't a surprise, since it's my dream after all. Everything I do is great. Of course, I can't go back right now. I need to get ready before doing something that big. Even so, I am just happy to hear that you've decided to see your family again. All thanks to you, kid. You made that crystal ball thingy and helped me check in on my family. So thanks, Sophie. You're one seriously good alchemist. Trophy unlocked, a bridge between dream and reality. Maximum damage is increased by 20% due to your new level of friendship. Oh no, that's DG. That's not. That might not be damage. That'd be DMG if it was damage. That might be the gauge. You look so focused. Thinking of a new recipe? Yes, for my new weapon. Oh really? But I thought you didn't like to fight. I do not. I am not planning on venturing out to pick fights. It is just that since coming here, I have learned you must know how to fight if you wish to protect something. I have never used a powerful weapon before, so I thought that now would be the best time to change that. Better late than never, I suppose. I was meant to come back with like a greatsword. It was like bigger than her. There, it is the strongest weapon I'm capable of making now. Wow, awesome! Looks like it's all pretty powerful once it's done. I'm grateful to have your seal of approval. I want to start on it as soon as I have the ingredients. Oh. Went from Knights of Azure 1 to Knights of Azure 2. Divine Punisher! And then it transitioned again to Blue Reflection. What? Okay, Giran? What the hell is that? That's new. Either way, we're not making it anytime soon. Also, level 78, she wouldn't even be able to make it. We still need harmoniums. Yeah, no idea what that is either. Konnichiwa! Hey, Sophie, you there? Oh, welcome. I'm over here. Oh, goody. I have something I want you to make for me. Is this the sword recipe you tried giving Diebold the other day? Like, at the start of the game? Sure is. I know he turned it down, but well, I can't imagine them being used by anyone else. So, could you make them for him, pretty please? I don't know if you'll take them, but I don't mind. But can I ask why you wanted to have them so badly? Long ago, there was a knight who saved his nation from the threat of a violent dragon. The knight was lauded as a hero for bringing peace, but once peace came, he was no longer needed. Since his services were no longer required, he left and began to travel the world. And whenever he went, he helped those in need because he had devoted his life to saving others. Or so the tale goes. The knight lived long, long ago, well before I was even born. Wait, the first part of that story sounds really familiar. Don't tell me. Yep. When I think of this legend, it makes me feel like I can do anything. That's why I want to help him. I want to repay my hero for all he's done. That's... Aww. I heard you loud. I hear you loud and clear, Perker. We'll make the best swords ever. Just you watch. Thanks a million, Sophie. The true knight sword reference. I'm thinking of making swords inspired by dragons. What do you think? I'm sure they would be quite strong, but would they not look a bit too intense? No, they look terrifying from that picture. Yeah, and that one, an Azure Dragon Scale and a Kurgan. Oh, so both of instances we can't continue their characters' stories until we make those weapons. Ah, oh, shit. We need those Okurgan things then. Oh, we need... Let's go hunt that then. Let's go get Harmonium and start... I need to start focusing on some of this shit, so let me go get a Harmonium. I don't know where... Is it going to be there then? Maybe that's the blah 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 ore? So that's... Diamond Golem. Let's go do that first. Before we go do hunts and all that stuff, let's go to Quart Lapis. Oh, it's the mini-boss enemy of the area. Sorry, I wanted to let that track play. I missed Sophie 1's Atelier theme, so I wanted to let that play out a little longer. Oh, wrong location. It's down here. Two of these things, huh? Alright. Oh yeah, okay, it goes up the percentage bit, so it's not, it's the super duper gauge, it goes up by 20 extra %. So you can overstack a little more. But yeah, if I can get some Harmonium, I am absolutely going to prioritize that for a bit. Make it a bit, make it the rest of this session probably more of a grind then as a result. But yeah, I want Harmonium. It's not a question of contest. That's one. If we're in a position to get it now, I'm getting it now, and then I'm going to start upgrading people. I'll also get then find out how much Perka charges now on the discount, if it's more reasonable or not. Right, so now we can make this little thing. The Priorako. Okay, 2K, that's very reasonable. Priorako. There you are. Actually, hang on. I should be having Plutch to make this because I need to bump up her level. I get too, like, comfortable just letting Sophie make it. I'm like, well, hang on a minute. There's someone else here that would really benefit of me letting them make it. Especially if she's going to be making her weapon later on. She needs to actually be the level to make it, you know? No, Rainbow Neutralizer is not actually that helpful. Yeah, in this situation, it only covers 2 of the 3. It's not that helpful. I don't know what track's my favorite actual, like, Atelier theme, but Sophie, like, Lily and Sully's is definitely up there. That's the one I feel like I just naturally want to hum along to every time I hear it. It's okay if we sacrifice a corner on that one because it's still that quality. I think it's because the track, like, most accurately captures the spirit of what all the games are. I feel it feels like, you know, like the kids are doing their own. The kids, they're doing their own thing. It's their little adventure. It's their story. We're just invited along. Okay, thing looks different than I thought it was going to look like, to be honest. But we can make harmonium. And first things first. No. This is some atoms. So what is the thing? Is that the flame of origin? At the bottom? I'm trying to think. Actually, no, flame of origin is on Sophie's, isn't it? Yeah, because there's flame at the end. Oh, it might be one of these then. There's a key item down there. I need to do more gathering with the hammer and we can make the Inferno Bomb Hammer. There's Flame of Origin. In a Passion Ruby. Oh, Plutchy, do you get any more ores? Is there weapons? Just Twining Scarf. Clouds, Sandsman, Fire Drain Solve. Underkunen. Amalgam ore for Tika Metal. We do need Tika Metal for something. Oh, it's around the place. We just haven't stumbled into any. Thanks, game. It's probably we need a higher rarity then. Need anti-freeze water for to get the rest bubble, so that one fucking quest. It's probably in a reference book then. That extra ore. Light, electric, and wind. So do any of these carry lightning? None that are both though. Ugh. Take that. And that. Dragon materials. Oh, the Draco bombs count. That's kind of clever. The scales are too blue fluenced. Sure, I'll try that. Oh, there's too much blue. There's too much blue fluence. I couldn't get rid of it. I need to get rid of this red as well, so I can have it there. Let me refigure this. There's got to be a way I can do this safer. Oh, but that green's not gonna live. That green's not gonna live this whole thing. Absolutely not, because I need to overtake this. Absolutely not. Okay. Oh, it did live. I guess it's got enough links. Doesn't live any more than that, though. Okay. The all boost is more important. The all father boost is more important, so I don't mind giving up. And if we're not keeping the green, I can override them anyway. Nice. I'll have you make some as well to try and balance it out. Oh, I got an idea. That's something we have to pick up anyway. So much red though, it's the problem. I don't need the red. I need the red out of there. I was going to try and make it focus more on the other things then to make up for the first one only being so focused on one in the end. Can we get that up there? Like, at all? Really comfortable? Okay, I kind of can. Oh, attack and speed boost. That's actually kind of appreciated. No. Change one to a lightning component. I don't know how disruptive that would be. Oh no, that worked out. Okay. That wasn't disruptive at all. If anything, he actually became a better all-rounder. But we got Harmonium. We can start making, like, badass weapons again for people. We can't make the ultimate weapons that we need to make, but we can start making, like, you know, talismana. So let's get on it. Like, what one do I want? Do I want all plus 6, but then an extra attack speed 10, so they get 16, everything else gets 10? Or do I just want the safe all by 10? Actually, I can look at this a minute. 32, 10, 56. But if I instead get... No, I'll take the all. I'll take the all. That only benefits the whites. With nothing for green. Oh, okay. What can we get out? Oh my god, it's this shit again. Let's just ride this out and see how it goes. I was gonna say, is there a way I can get that fire as well? God, plus 50, damn. Oh, for the rest of this shit. Just think of the end goal, Robert. Don't stress about all the details. Oh, it's only attack count for the blue? Oh, I'm not that fussed then. We tend to do alright with that. HP return on turn though, that's kinda... Oh, I don't know if I'll be able to get red maxed out. Take that instead. We can add an extra fuel if we need it later on, but that'll work. Oh, if that wasn't there, that would have fit in perfect. I just need like a smidge. I just need a little one. Doesn't need to be crazy. That'll do. I'll probably get overwritten, but I'll put that there only for funsies. Okay, can't override any of them. Good to know. I'll take it. That's your new. Enjoy your new weapon, Sophie. Nice, and the quality's great as well. Alright, down to the next character, and we continue this process like 5 more times. Okay, that's actually perfect. That's thunder and lightning. Very, very frightening. Galileo. Galileo! Galileo. Sorry. Well, actually, no. Going light slots makes more sense. Especially if I can get both colours in like that, yes. No, yes, it is the highest pitch I can go. Don't expect me more. Okay, we're gonna be fine on lightning. Just calling it a hunch. We're good on lightning. Alright, let's figure this shit out now. I have to pay attention when it starts to get too much on the yellow. Nice! And we can't make you yet, but we can make this. Before we use that last +10, I'm gonna go dupe it. As just we will do the Sophie's weapons that she can do, and then we'll worry about plushes after. Electric and light. Yeah, that is the best we got. Sure, we'll try that one. Let's get rid of the pieces we don't need first. That's per. Won't be enough to harm it. Ugh. I don't think this piece matters. Actually, we can put this here to make sure it doesn't matter. Increase crit rate by 30%, restore HP equal to 20% of damage dealt. Enjoy, Debold, enjoy. And reduce the cost of MP. Sure. Debold got a fucking weapon. He got a fucking weapon compared to everyone else. That we can't make yet, but let's equip what we got. So it's a huge drop in speed, but everything else is way better. Just better, but a little less health. And if I see a single negative, I'll say if I see a single negative stat on this, I'm gonna be pissed because this was excellent. The HP regen, MP regen, attack defense supercharge, demon soul, MP consumption might. Like, this guy is a walking unit. Oh, more events of. Oh, there's 2 pages. I was like, what was that? That's 2 pages. Got it. Let's dupe my harmonium first. I'll do both of them because both are helpful. Both the +10 and the +10 and 6. So it then becomes like a multi-stack. God, it costs that much. By 6 then. So we still got some spare. And then I'll do the same for the other one. No, I wasn't done. Why did you put me back here? You could have just left me on the slot we were on. And there's the +6 variants, which thankfully are cheaper, so I'll make more. Is there anything you'd want? Nothing's worth selling. There's something that we like sell for like 10k or some shit. And then we'll go back and make Plachta's side of the weapon. Actually, I don't think we can make all of them. Because... where is it? Yeah, Elias and Plachta twin action. So we need to go do some fights and have Elias and Plachta swap each other out. Which of course that's the least happening because both of them are in the back row. So one has to be swapped into the front row first and then that swap can happen. So I need to go out and do that as well. We're just going to equip up basically, I think, for the rest of this stream. Now Harmonian's on the table. Oh, yo-ho, Sophie. Slacking off again, I see. Hey, if you want to work hard, you gotta let me play hard. More importantly, that child who ate the sleep grass, the flower you made did the trick. They're gonna be okay. Yup, and it's all thanks to you. And to you, Katie. I guess so. I might as well come clean. Until not too long ago, I was thinking of returning to my world. Every single story arc's going to end with this, isn't it? Every single story arc's going to return with, I'm thinking of going home. You were? You remember our conversation about my old job, right? That got me thinking about all the new discoveries I was missing out on over there, and... well, going back was looking like a distinct possibility. You really were considering it, huh? I had no idea. But you see, the people here are always coming and going. Everyone leaves eventually. All the more reason why this world needs someone who knows it inside and out. After all, it's only a matter of time before there's another incident like the last one. So I've made up my mind. I'm going to keep on living here for as long as I'm able. Oh, never mind. Really? Sure, you're probably right about people needing an archivist, but don't worry, Sophie, I'm not forcing myself to stay. I'm doing what I love best in a world that I adore. And if anything does go wrong, I can be there with my records, ready to find a solution. If that's not worth sticking around for, then what is? That's really admirable. I think I figured out why Elvira called you over to Ritali, Katie. You're an integral part of this world. Oh please, you're making me blush. All I want is to spend the rest of my life somewhere peaceful, only doing the things I like. Lazy to the bone, that's me. I'm starving. I need snacks. If only she could be dedicated to all of her work. Trophy unlocked, Natalia's most competent slouch. Wow, that's a brutal trophy. That trophy's brutal. That trophy just went, yeah, fuck her. That's something new I really want to pick up. Uh-oh. Sophie! Oh, good to see you, Alette. Looking for more failed alchemy projects? No, not today. There's something I want to give you. Wow, this is gorgeous. But why give it to me? It's kind of my way of saying thanks, I guess. If I hadn't met you, I probably wouldn't have realised I was ready to return home. I'd have stayed here and kept earning money for who knows how long, but I wouldn't have been satisfied. So this is my thanks for the wake-up call. But I didn't do anything worth such an expensive-looking gift. It's not just a thank you gift. I hoped it'd be something for you to remember me by. What do you mean? Well, we live in different time periods, right? That means when we go home, I don't think we'll meet again. Oh, right. I forgot about that. I completely forgot about it too, so when I remembered it was a bit of a shock. But if we'd just gone about living our regular lives, we definitely would have never met. That's why I feel really lucky that I had a chance to meet you here and become your friend. So the accessory is not just a thanks, it's also like a memento of our meeting, or a symbol of our friendship, or whatever. This sappy's... Or, what do you mean or? What was you about to say, Alette? Are you in love with Sophie as well? Is Sophie got a harem and she's not even aware of it? Oh, this sappy stuff is way too embarrassing. We're friends, just take the thing. Thank you, Alette. I'll cherish it. Hang on 1 second. I mean, I wouldn't protest. Thank you, Alette. I'll cherish it. You better. It's a really nice piece. We should take good care of it. Alright, that's that. I better go back and restock. Huh? Did you just say you're pretty much all your stock so you could get things in order? I did, but I seriously let my emotions get the best of me. I sold a bunch of stuff for cheap that I bet would have been worth a fortune back home. So I'm planning on staying here until I gather up a few more things to sell later. And then it's like, no, we're back to fucking square one. Which means you'll get to enjoy my company a little while longer. Alright, see ya. Yeah, look at Sophie's face. That's like, we're back to square fucking one. I feel like that kind of defeats the reason why she had the sale in the first place. But that means I get to spend more time with Alette. I'm glad. Trophy unlocked. What Cole can't buy. Maximum DG has been increased by 20%. Made a promise to Alette, the barrage talisman. There's more. There's another scene. Yeah, as I say, Rami's gonna show up. Sophie, can I borrow you for a bit? Yeah, what is it? It's nothing much, but to someplace else. I think I could talk about it very well here. I think it'd be safe for me prying ears here. You're not wrong about that. What do you want to talk about? Relax, it isn't that big of a deal or anything. I have decided something, and wanted to share it with you. Originally, I was planning on going straight back to Kirkenbell once I returned to the real world. I was only wandering around because I like travelling and learning new things, without any real goal in mind anyway. And I was already reaching the point of thinking it was time for me to go back. So, that's why you're travelling. I have no idea. Did you bring me here just to tell me that, though? No, here's the most important part. You said you started traveling because you admired me, right? Well, and I heard you say that. I felt something spark in my heart. Here goes. I've decided to take my alchemy training more seriously. Wait, you mean... That's right. Once I get back, I'm heading straight to the royal capital to train. God, look at that face. There's a woman on a mission. I'm going to study up well, so I can be a licensed alchemist worthy of your praise and admiration. Ramazol. I shouldn't talk so big with someone so unskilled, but oh jeez, I'm gonna blush. That's why I had to bring you here of all places. I feel like I'm going to combust on the spot. You think I'm being silly? Of course not. How could I ever think that? How I feel about you won't ever change. You'll always be the alchemist I admire the most in the whole world. Is she crying? Huh? Sophie, you must always be the most awesome and admirable alchemist in the world to me too. Oh, come on. Because that's the sort of words Sophie probably always wished she could hear from her grandmother. And my dearest. I swear I'll get that license. Just you wait. Those are the sort of words where I would be in pieces if I was Sophie. You know? I would just be in tears. Yeah, I believe in you. Trophy unlocked. The Alchemist of Happiness. Oh, that's a cute trophy. So why is it okay when Alette gets a trophy, it's like it's kind of cool and whatnot. When Ramazor gets a trophy, it's cute as hell. But when it's Katie, it's like, yeah, she's a slouch. when it's Katie, it's just calling her out. So yeah, this girl, yeah, she's a lazy bitch. That's what that trophy did. Alright, 78 for Divine Punisher. Well, I mean, by the time we get that, we probably will be 78, but still. Harmonium and Evil Core. Alright, let's make this weapon. Light and Ice. That's a... Let me look at the other components before I commit to that. Right, we'll see how this goes. I think we're going to be fine on the light component. Call it a hunch. Alright, now for the blues. We can add an extra ingredient if there's not enough blue, because I don't know if we have enough. Smidge. I'll put this in. I'm going to go back over it in a sec anyway. There we go. There. Increase crit rate, stores 20 damage done, beastly power, and then superb quality. Alright, let's Plushie's new weapon. Doom. Alright, let's do this shindig again. Oh, fire, light, and electric. Wow, okay, you gotta be a fussy bitch, I get it. I see how it is. And let's like, I want all these things! No, take what you're given. I say bitch endearingly, by the way. if that wasn't clear already, I don't actually hate her or anything. There's not much red in that. Ugh. We'll have to figure that out. Crit rate, that's crit. Okay. Yeah, that's not enough. Okay, we'll have to try and make enough electric links to give us another resource. Okay. I've got to test the waters a little bit, see what I can get away with. I'm going to override the lightning a little bit in the hopes that I can make enough links later on to make up for it. To get the extra fuel in. That's looking very doubtful. Critical damage to 25%, 60% of the time, 1 stack of defense decrease. Are these all just quality boosts? Alright, fine. Enjoy that, Alette. It does enough what it needs to do. And then we can't do his yet because we need to actually have Plotch to team up more. Okay. Old Mecha Arm is super defensive, so that's actually kind of a drop in defense. I mean, everything else is too much of a boost to ignore, obviously, but that's still like, ooh. Need to be wary. And that's just way better to enjoy. And then it's just you. We need to go hang out with you more. So we need to go fight you. Oh, these guys are everywhere. Look at this. Gives us a chance to do this. So I need to swap Plushie in. And then next time it's Plushie, then make it swap with Elias. Just magic aura, so actually, if you resist, just enjoy this. God, all these new battle themes we've been hearing today. I wonder if this game still invokes that classic rule from, Sophie 1 and Furious. Where if you outlevel the enemy, it plays a different theme. Or if they outlevel you, it plays a different theme. Please tell me this counts even if this kills. Well, I suppose we'll find out. So I showed intention. Okay, it does count as long as you show intention. Then we just need to do it again. Get Pluchy in, and then on the next round, have a swap with Elias. God, look at that 5-5-5-5. Like a human unit, this guy. I nearly got Elias in. It's like, no, hang on. That'd be counterproductive. Can it be Blanche's turn again soon? Hopefully before the enemy dies. I'm just going to have you defend, so I think the enemy might die. Alright, and now Elias can get a new weapon. And that's also enough to do all them. So let's get over and fight the mini-boss, and then we'll head back. I also need to make more gravity things soon. I don't realize I've only got 5 left. You burn through them so much quicker than anything else because of how situationally placed they are. Yes, I am the terror. All these enemies running away from me. Fear me. This is. I wish the screen didn't flash bright. Ah, fuck! I forgot the gap. I wish the screen didn't flash bright white every time I transition. Though it starts to get a little like burning every time it transitions any of this stuff. Alright, Groll, Aura. Trying to slow it down more. Comet Fist. Ow. Ow, ow, ow. Ow. How is that not broke? 1, come on. I was like, how is that guard not broke yet? Yes, pray to your queen, and now go fuck shit up. Oh, it's nearly dead. That's the thing, he's not entirely dead, he's just mostly dead. Is everyone level 50 now? I think they are. Trophy unlocked, veteran of countless battles. I bet that trophy is, yeah, max level. Master Alchemist, sturdy armor, sore loser. What? Plachta. Hang on. So, short wait time of using items. Increases user special effect resistance when moving to the front. I don't think the naming of that matches the effect at all. That what? When she goes up front, she just gets a resistance boost. And you have increases damage dealt depending on character speed. Why is it called sturdy armor if it has nothing to do with your defense? But you're like Speedy Gonzalez anyway, so you should be fine. Literally the fastest character in the party. Yeah, when I said before you're the Suli of the group, literally, because I remember Suli getting an ability similar to that. Alright, let's turn in what we got. Oh, that is so much more reasonable price-wise. Let's go make our Thunder Cannon first, and then I'll go turn in these quests. Let's be right at the bottom. Right. I always forget. Venduro Cannon. Light and electric. And this is for... Okay, I'll do that. I was thinking this. I'm thinking who this is for. I was like, this is for Elias. What's an Elias-y thing to do here? I'll use the extra ingredient if I need to, but I'm hoping, looking at what we got, we should be fine. I need... Yeah, one more light and one more electric to try and balance it out more. So then it's more okay for this to go over this. Nice. And everything is covered. 88% chance of doing this well. Crit rate by 10 and speed. Max Vey. Nice. 628 quality. Enjoy your gun, Elias. Enjoy your tool of destruction. Oh, she made 2. Fucking. Why does she do this sometimes? Like, what? Why did you make 2? Not that I'm complaining, but still. Alright, before anything else, let me save. Oh, and turn in these quests. Jesus Christ, that rain. It's really just come in. Like, it's like lashing it outside. I know it'll be a shorter stream, but I might actually wrap up in a minute just because I'm wary. Like, that's really vicious actually out there. And the last time it was as vicious, it cut power. So I think it might actually be my best interest to kind of wrap soonish, just to be on the safe side. It probably won't. But I don't want to gamble. You know? I don't want to take that gamble. Because that is unrelenting. And then just hope the weather's supposed to be a little better tomorrow, and then be a lot better by Friday. I mean, it's not like we're streaming literally anything else, so I think I can be forgiven on having like one shorter stream just because I'm wary of the weather. I think I am actually going to do that then. We made better weapons. We made some advancement in the plot. Not much, I'm aware, but eh. Next time we will head off into new land. I mean, what, are we still in chapter? Okay, yeah, we're in chapter 8 still. Go investigate the new land. I think that's a good point to stop then. So yes, tomorrow on Atelier Sophie, we will be exploring as much of this area as we can get away with, and probably detouring as much as we always do. So I know at some point the path's going to link back here. You can see that there's a point where the path links up on the top right, so we know it's going to link round, it's just when. But I think that'll do for now. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace now.